Just getting weekly jobless claims coming through here. 1.858 million on the continuing claims versus 1.84 expected there. 238,000 versus 235,000 expected on the initial jobless claims week over week. 8:15, we got that ADP employment change number, 150,000 versus 160 consensus. The forecast 100,000, so higher. On the ADP employment change number, we are getting import-export data right now as well. May exports 261.7 billion versus 265 expected. Their imports a little bit delayed. There it is, 336.7 versus 341. A lot of economic data ahead of the holiday tomorrow, half day today, keep in mind. Coming up at 9:45, S&P Global Composite PMI. That's a final reading for June, then at 10. Get the ISM version PMI for June at 10 o'clock. Factory orders. There's a ton of stuff today, and then all the energy data coming through as well at 10:30. And then, oh yeah, FOMC minutes after the close today. But who cares? Because the market won't be trading at that point. Pretty quiet to start things off as expected going into not only the holiday afternoon today, but remember. No trading, no market tomorrow for the July 4th weekend. Little delayed reaction here for futures. Downside now coming off that jobs data. Happy Wednesday.
Likewise. Yeah, like you said, half day, but definitely not half in terms of headlines. Apple gaining their seat on the OpenAI board. And that'll give them observer status there, along with Microsoft. So that's interesting. Skydance also back in the news. With Paramount Global looking for the acquisition. And Dell added to Bank of America's list, and Rivian denying, Brendo, that they're going to use hardware to build out some of the cars with Volkswagen.
Yeah, we got that strange headline yesterday. Ramin's back, making a cameo early on. Hi, Ramin. Yeah, we got that strange headline yesterday suggesting that they were still in talks on the hardware side. The initial deal just on the software side, but they're still negotiating on the hardware side. They came out this morning saying no plans for any integration. I mean, the actual language they said was to make cars with Volkswagen.
Yeah.
So whether or not that means anything, we'll see. But yeah, Rivian moving around a little bit here. We'll get a look at Tesla. Just keeps going, like so strong the past now 3 days in a row here, back to the upside. For Tesla, great look.
And he got the nod today from, I forget who it was. I think it was Guggenheim, actually raising the price target but maintaining the sell. I don't think a lot of people are going to care. I think Dan Ives got this one bang on when he said, expect a delivery surprise. And we definitely got that in spades. Brendo, the company delivered 443,000 cars and they produced 410,000. So giving you the idea that they offloaded some, unloaded inventory that they had hanging out.
Elon yesterday making some comments regarding shorts in the stock as well, suggesting that once these robots are a thing, that shorts are going to be in trouble.
Done.
Basically. So 1.5%, a little bit of a downtick here with the overall market right now. 235 was that support in the pre-market, just let go. So long way to go back to where we were yesterday, 230. But yeah, Tesla, what a move this has been off that most recent low. Obi back in with us today, guys, for the half day. Good morning.
Good morning. And yeah, it doesn't matter who gave the upgrade to Tesla. It could have been Joe Schmo, great show, by the way. It could have been Obi. It could have been anybody on the floor.
It would have still done the same.
Doesn't matter. It's still going to do the same thing. They smashed it with those deliveries yesterday. Now, obviously, the best opportunity to have gotten the long is if you just punched long before the open when the delivery numbers came out, it would have worked out. That was some wild action, but once it settled down, you still had some great opportunities out there for you at the open. It still made a $10 to $12 clean move from 9:30 to about like 10:30. So that first hour of the day was spectacular. If it's pulling back, hey, that just gives us a shot to run at it. On a holiday shortened trading session, you've done this before. I think most people understand. This is not it's going to be light volume, there's not going to be any opportunities. Not how it works. I promise you, it is a good day trading day historically. It's just about finding those opportunities and hitting them early if you get that first early move. fighting a trend where you look for that like mean reversion tends to not work as much because you don't have the whole day to revert. So keep that in mind. We got Tesla on board, no question about it. Nvidia still wrestling with that 123 level. Rivian's going to be in play as well, around $15. And I feel like Dell didn't get its due because Tesla was so incredible yesterday that I think Dell has had a couple of really good days, and that's gone to the wayside, and people haven't been paying as much attention to it. And the other name, which absolutely ripped faces off and was stronger in the afternoon, was AMD. AMD both had the early move in the morning, gave it back in spades, and then rallied. So there's a heck of a lot that should be volatile today that we can pay attention to. You got crypto names to the downside. That's going to bring me right back into Mara. So there's plenty to watch, plenty to trade. Even old squeeze name Koss is moving in the pre-market. I chuckle because I have no idea why it's moving. We couldn't even find a news story on it, but there's a lot going on. You just got to narrow your focus, be locked and loaded, ready to go. But all roads start with Tesla, Obi.
Yeah, definitely. Gonna be hopping in the Roadster today for sure. With that reference, but yeah, take a look at this. This is what I'm looking at here. I was kind of reflecting on this trade last night and this morning as well. Tesla, I can't really get it off my mind, but look at what it's been doing. Absolutely crazy volume yesterday. Look at that volume expanding just a slight bit there on the weekly as we break out into a multi-year trend resistance here, and we're pretty much right there. Pre-market highs are at 240, so we did kind of violate it by a little bit, but we are opening up right in and around some of those key areas there. So definitely Tesla is going to be on watch. This is the weekly, and you can see every time the week has come into this resistance, we've taken quite a significant little bit of a pullback. Is this the time? It's finally going to break out. This consolidation or this flag or whatever you want to call it has spanned from November of 2021 all the way to July of 2024 as of right now. So definitely a name of interest. And yeah, I was looking at Dell, I was looking at AMD as well. What else do I got? I got obviously the Spider. I think that the market is definitely in play as well, pushing some of these attempted all-time highs there. As of yesterday, we're taking a little bit of a pullback. We talk about that 20,000 being slightly magnetic in terms of how it's been behaving and how we've been kind of going in and around it, but 20,200 coming in as of right now. On the future. So hopefully we have a decent short and trading day. Definitely a lot of opportunities on the board today.
You afraid of spiders? You said the spiders instead of the spy. Most traders say the spy. You just come out and say spider.
I mean, it's the spider.
Okay. It's a spy. Let me know in the chat. I always think traders say spy, not spiders. You let me know. But I also am arachnophobic. I hate spiders. Don't like them. Never liked them. And I love
spiders.
No, you don't.
Yeah, they're so helpful. They're so useful. Like, think about it. If I see a spider in my room, I will more than likely name it, and it will help me deal with all the little critters, the creepy crawlies, whatever you want to call them. That don't, like, you know what I mean? Like we're buddies. Like it eats the other bugs that I dislike as well. So I'm like, you know what I mean? I gotta give props to And maybe one day while I'm like sleeping or something.
Dara has the same reaction.
One day while I'm sleeping, maybe I get like a bite, and next morning I'm shooting webs out of my wrist or something. I don't know. Whatever. I like spiders.
No.
Yeah. See, Ramin dreams about that. So there you go.
No, you don't.
Spider-Man.
Ram is back, by the way. That's my one Ram for the day. Oh, I guess I just did it twice. Spiders? No. My
spidey senses are tingling.
I wouldn't mind. Look, spidey sense would be pretty cool to have in the market. Your spidey sense is tingling around a level, but that doesn't mean we have to like spiders. Like you can't be what? It's all good. To each their own. Live and let live. Let's go back to the desk and just we'll leave that one alone.
All right, a couple things to note here. Coming off this jobs data that we got there at 8:30, yields first of all downside in a pretty good way. Here's a dollar. 3 days in a row here to actually make it 4 or 5 days in a row here to the downside. Wait for it. Wait for it. There it is. A couple days in a row. Red side here, 105.50 here for the DXY. But yeah, the 10-year, the 30-year, 2-year, even all downside again coming off this jobs data again. 8:15, we had that ADP number. And then this continuing claims number looks to be partially adding to this weakness. So theoretically should help equities here.
And the yields took a big bump up after that whole with the whole issue with the yen.
Yeah.
And being at 40-year lows, we saw the yields bump up there. I can show the 10-year here, Ram, if we can. This is the 10-year on the right. We're down 0.61 right now, but you saw we were at 4.25 when that issue with the yen came out, and we shot up within 2 days up until almost 4.5 here on the 10-year futures contract. So we'll have to keep an eye to see what the yields are doing today, Brendo.
It's worth mentioning, if this is your first time experiencing a half day in the market, just be prepared. It's going to be a little bit quiet. Typically, there's opportunity in the first hour, maybe 30 minutes of the day. After that, it will get pretty sleepy pretty quick. So take advantage out of the gate. Watch volume, relative volume expected to be across the board pretty low today, but that doesn't mean to say there won't be stuff to do again right at the open.
Absolutely. I'll be looking to see what's strong today because it could foreshadow what will be strong on Friday. Definitely taking smaller size though with the trades and keeping everything a little bit calm.
Yeah, I mean it's the first time that I can remember there's been a half day going into the July 4th holiday. Typically it's around other holidays, but Friday also will be quiet. But at least we get the entire day. I just pulled up Apple here because it did have a little bit of a move. There was a spike up to pre-market highs. We've come right back down to 219 right now. But so strong yesterday for Apple, all the way back to 220. We essentially ended the day at the highs and opening near them right now.
Yeah, broke 220. That was great because last time after the WWDC, we got to 220, rejected, obviously came down into the mid 200s, but overnight coming out that they're going to get a board member on OpenAI's board. He's going to be an observer. He goes by the name of Phil Schiller. He's the current App Store leader. He's a former marketing chief. And apparently Microsoft not too happy about it, Brendo, that he's getting a board seat there because it could potentially impact on some of their product launches that they have with OpenAI directly, because then Apple will be an observer and they'll see what's going on.
Yeah, I wonder if that was the... Sam Altman was in the audience at the WWDC event, or the keynote, the Tim Cook keynote. And I wonder if that was in return, we want a board seat or an advisory role anyways on OpenAI's board. But yeah, I mean, a great look for Apple, a great look for Tesla, doing tech things again.
So, Sam Altman. You know what's interesting? I wonder if when we look 10, 15 years in the future, and we have all these great like leaders and CEOs have done well, like you get the Elons, Jensen Huang's now up there. I wonder if Sam Altman's going to unseat some of those as like the whole like visionary. It's a little bit more known in 10, 15 years. Interesting character. But what's interesting to me is this little pullback. Just that pullback that we had after the numbers came out, we had a little bit of pullback in the market, and you're down 0.2%. So what's interesting about Apple here is that it didn't go. Like Apple did absolutely nothing. Tesla is only up 1%. It dropped down into 232. I'm looking at Nvidia. Nvidia only dropped about 70 cents or so, but Apple pretty much holding the line. So pretty strong move here. I do think Apple tests that high today. I'll double check it. I mean, I think a lot of times you'll round it up. It's not 22, it's not 220 and a half. That is that high on Apple. It's obviously, like 30 something or whatever it happens to be. But if it does get above that $0.50, you will be breaking out a fresh high on Apple. So we had Microsoft do it yesterday. We had Amazon make a fresh move, breaking out yesterday. And it feels like it could be Apple's turn in here. Now, there's obviously... yesterday's move was so big, Tesla's going to be the same way here. The difference between Tesla and Apple is Tesla will be pulling back into prior highs and maybe some of that early support. Apple's dip comes into the dip support that we had midday. So if it doesn't hold on to that on a holiday shortened day, if it loses that level, I don't have a long trade in Apple. Because if you lose this 218.5, you have a big gap to be filled. If it's doing that, the chances that you're going to get a lower bounce when everything needs to resolve itself early today is a little bit less likely. It's got to hold this consolidation up. It's either dip into the support or breaking out that high. I like the fact that it didn't just drop as much as the market's going. It's now even with the market when it was actually down more than the overall market. Still a good upshoot. You've got higher highs and higher lows the entire way on this move. The last week or so, last week and a half, I don't think you want to change the tone here. It would be easy to say just look for fades if we pop, but there's a few other names that I feel a little bit more confident shorting some pops on. No need to fight with Apple when it's in such a bull move.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna resonate with that. With that advice there. Yeah, 220s, we talk about how it basically clipped the highs by only a few pennies. 220.20s were prior highs, and look at the prior day's highs, 220.40, so only about 20 cents. But fact of the matter is that we did consolidate in the upper quartile of yesterday's price action, which has been quite strong coming up from some of these lows below 200. We talk about that 200 break, and we're already at 220. So with the market's tailwind being as strong as it is, and again, Apple being one of the market leaders, of course, I'll definitely be watching this 220.40s level for a potential push. Either way, this consolidation prior day, both those levels I'm using as a reference. It should be interesting. Again, with a shortened day, we might get some muted action. So I do want to keep that in mind as well. But yeah, Apple on watch.
All right, Bank of America, was it? Am I right? Yeah, Bank of America with a positive note here on Dell this morning. If you go back to, what was that, Friday? I guess we had a huge reversal back higher for Dell continuing this morning. 147 coming into play, Bank of America adding it to their US #1 list for Dell. Better perspective, maybe if you zoom out a little bit more, we had that huge run up to 180, came back in significantly, if you remember, on the earnings that missed expectations, but trying to test long-term levels here once again this morning for Dell.
Yeah, and it's all because of AI, Brendo. I mean, that's all that they said, that they're obviously increasing spending in artificial intelligence technologies. We know about the servers that they're putting out, that they're teaming up with Nvidia. Big gains, obviously, year to date so far with Dell. Bank of America did add Amazon as well as Amazon into their #1 US ideas list. So we'll have to see how they trade today.
Not a heck of a lot of volume behind this move so far, but nice look to start things off, guys, for Dell.
Earnings.
Oh, Dell. Oh, my goodness. So, look, we talked about Tesla stealing the attention, and Dell was maybe one of the names that's gotten left here. AMD was impressive. Dell didn't move as much yesterday, but 2 days ago, Dell made the breakout move, and then you're just getting some continuation. You guys know I've been drawing a lot of trend lines lately. Visually, it makes it a lot easier for everybody to see what's going on with a stock sometimes. You have that 50 period, but you can see the obvious hold of support here quite some time. Ever since it broke out, so the important thing is ever since it broke out, you have a key hold, and the two peaks are now converging for a local breakout of a very, very steep channel. So steep downward channel in an upward trend. Is today going to be the day on just an upgrade? Whether it is or not, I think I just got to look for longs. You had the big work done 2 days ago, and that was where we had, look, I didn't even have a long on this until it broke out. I remember the day it broke 142, and keep this in mind. When you are trading, a lot of times you get to a level like this, like $142, and you're thinking, yeah, I should go short. And there's nothing wrong with it. Like, it goes to resistance level, it goes short. But when it holds that tight higher low, sometimes you just got to take that late breakout. We buy high, sell higher sometimes because the stock is showing you some strength. Didn't have a long yesterday because it was Tesla obviously being the best, and really Dell was just dipping most of the day until a late rally. But that high, right around 145, 144.70, it's exactly where it was consolidating the pre-market. As long as we're above there, going to look for some dips at the open. Liquidity could be a concern for Dell, especially on this holiday shortened day. You might have lighter volumes, so you might have to be patient if this one dips in. It was a nasty, nasty dip before a rally. Like this move here at this open was 137.5 into 133. I don't think Dell is going to drop $4.50 today and rally, but you can expect when you have if there is a sell order that comes in, you don't necessarily want to just stand in front of it. You want to try to catch like a higher low, something on the way back into the upside, like it reclaims the support level and then get in on the dip. But as long as it's over 145, that's what I'm looking for here on Dell, just continuation of trend. Super, super strong name. And look, at the end of the day, you want to buy, in a general sense, you want to buy strong stocks, sell weak stocks. I think it's pretty easy which bucket you want to put that in.
Yeah, I like the way that Dell is setting up here. I kind of want to talk about some of the technicals. It's been technical behavior, I guess, it's been exhibiting. This is the earnings report from the beginning of the year at the end of February, beginning of March, right here. I have an anchored that's anchored to that earnings report. So now we scroll back down into the next earnings that we had. So I also have another one anchored right there. So we had a strong reaction, prior earnings right there. Misses a little bit on their EPS, but still does well on their revenue. But sentiment is not really taken too well. But take a look at this consolidation that we've been having in between both of these anchored VWAPs. So a lot of the volume, a lot of the participants kind of interacting, I guess, with a price here, and it's holding these averages there. And then look at that, the trend that Neil just pointed out as well. We are pushing up, so a little bit of a boot up here on the Dell price action, pushing these prior highs and the trend resistance as of right now. So I'll definitely be watching. It's right near that 50 mark. That 150, you can see just looking left here, some of these levels may be coming into play as we break out of the weekly levels on Dell. So Dell definitely on watch as well. But before we kind of move on, we're going to pass it over to Adara at the green screen.
Tesla, of course, kicking off the list here, looking to continue its two-day rally, getting this price target increase from Guggenheim, though Guggenheim did maintain a sell rating. Other analysts like Wedbush and Canaccord Genuity also giving Tesla some positive notes. Diageo getting an upgrade here from Citigroup. We have BTIG Research upgrading MGM Resorts, and Intuit getting an upgrade from RBC Capital Markets. Not one, but two downgrades in the communications space here, both of them coming from Citigroup. One of them Charter Communications, the other one Liberty Broadband, both getting these downgrades from Citigroup this morning. D.A. Davidson also downgrading the AZEC company here. And last but not least, Barclays giving a downgrade to Pacira Biosciences. Some interesting names here, guys.
All I saw was Tesla. I mean, there was other stuff in there too, but Tesla. No, I don't mind. Like MGM, at least, out of those 8 names, upgrades and downgrades. Interesting, nothing interesting getting downgraded today, possibly. So, like, what I will say about MGM is it's in the midst of a pullback off of what looks like a good break, and there's something really cool that Brian Shannon on the Aftermarket show pointed out, which is it's intuitive, but it's not something that we always think about at times. And, you know, obviously with a lot of experience, technical experience, he's literally the master of technical analysis in trading. So big shout out to him. Check him out every single week on the recap show. But Brian Shannon mentioned, even if a stock is breaking out, if you've got a downward sloping 200 period moving average. Now this isn't a bad one. I'll show you an example of one in a second. It can tend to fail that breakout rather rapidly. So you have a pretty weak trending 200 period moving average. You have it break a downward trend, get back above the 50 and the 2, makes one break, and then kind of stalls out. It's something to watch out for. Now, obviously, I would look to see if this can hold the moving averages back in. But before we get to Randy in a second, I just wanted to acknowledge this is exactly what you see on Alibaba. And Alibaba failed a monster break. After a downward sloping 200 period moving average. It looked like a great breakout for all, and there was no continuation because it's downward. You still have an overall downward trend. And that's one thing I'm going to start paying attention to as someone who didn't bank in that Alibaba run. Randy, I was worried you weren't here today. For sure? Oh, we always would appreciate a coffee,
I just got some, thank you.
What's Tesla going to do today?
Ah.
Whoa, but up. Up. A little bit. Little bit? All right, a lot. Hopefully a lot. But Tetra? Okay. See, Randy, I don't know. Usually, I want Randy on board with this Tesla dip buy theory. We'll get to specifics when it comes to Tesla, but yeah, that's something I've been watching. And the other thing is Tesla as well falls into this category of a breakout with a downward sloping 200 period moving average, but it's more of a gentle one like MGM. This is kind of what I was getting at. Like, it's a gentle one like MGM's, whereas obviously, Alibaba not looking too good. So I don't wonder if it's not going to fail maybe up at like a first resistance point at a 260 level, but that's not that big of a problem when we're looking this strong. Gotta love the stock for sure. Oh, just shout out, and I want to thank Volcan for the super chat. So I'm going to ask, when we get back to the desk, maybe we'll have Brendan summarize. Oh, there was a lot of economic data today, so maybe we'll have Brendan go over that again up at the desk for a quick little summary. You did get a lot, and we still have crude oil futures that are going to be coming at 10:30. Anything else? I think there's a GDP number coming after the market's already closed. But yeah, thank you very much for that super chat there, Volcan.
Computers. Okay, yeah, we can do that real quick. ADP employment change comes out at 8:15 this morning. Ramin. Thanks. June. ADP employment change at 8:15, 150 versus the forecast of 100,000. So 150. So this number is a net of job loss versus add. So 150 net, so 100,000 expected, 150 was the actual number, comes in higher than expected. Import exports, I mean, the question was, are these good or bad? These types of numbers are typically not necessarily either. They are what they are. 265 billion was expected, comes at 261.7. Imports a little bit lower, 336.7 billion versus 341. Initial jobless claims, we've seen that move the market many, many times, 238,000 versus 235. So the thought behind that is, if more people are applying for employment insurance, that means there's less employment demand, which in this environment can actually be good for stocks, indicating that maybe the strength we've seen for months and months and months in the employment market might be coming down. 3,000 is not a lot to the upside for initial jobless claims. Continuing claims basically in line with expectations, 1.85 versus 1.84. So, I mean, across the board, I think a bit of a wash. These numbers coming up at 9:45 and 10 o'clock might be more significant for the actual movement in the market. Nothing happened at 8:30, probably has more to do with the simple fact that there's not a lot of eyeballs on the market today, and not a lot of liquidity as well. So any kind of movement that we get from a number typically in that sense wouldn't be the same on a day like today.
And with respect to the jobs numbers, he was pressed on that yesterday by Sarah Eisen. Jerome Powell was with the ECB president as well as the Central Bank for Brazil yesterday at an event in Portugal. He was asked a number of times about the jobs, about the strength of the overall market, the actual GDP continuing to grow. And he used the word full employment. Why would I cut if we're at full employment right now? So he's quite satisfied, according to his comments yesterday, about the current state of the job market. That makes you wonder, Brendo, do we get that cut in 2024? I know you're shaking your head, and I kind of agree with you at this point.
But why? That's, and that's the exact point, is why does he have to at this point?
For the sake of cutting? It's not going to work that way.
No. And I mean, Kevin O'Leary sat in that chair last week and said the same thing. We're not getting one. So I tend to agree at this point. 0.14 right now for the NASDAQ downside, guys, but big day yesterday, as we saw with Apple, big day yesterday with the overall market.
So, a good friend actually doesn't want to be on camera. I'm not outing him, but we had a visitor just now. I got a big smile on my face because one of the people in the back office who is here visiting from Europe actually was in my training group. Now he was training as a trainee with me 20 years ago and with the rest of my group to kind of learn the markets and whatnot. He ended up in a back office role, but it's so cool because there's only about five of us, technically 6, that are still in the business, a few of us trading, and some working back office with the company. So it's always cool to see, man. Like the people that you start out with in the business, like I've known Randy for 20 20 years, 20 and a half years, and you've been with the company, is it 25? 21? It's only 21? Okay.
No, it's 20.
No, it's more. It's 25 because you were, it's 25 years. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Is it exactly 25?
More.
So more. Wow. We didn't celebrate your 25th year, did we? We should have. Well, now we're celebrating. Let's raise a cup for 25 years with the company for Randy, although you don't have a cup, and we'll cheers anyway because you got to cheers. And you got to sip. But that's what it's all about. I mean, it was so good seeing Robbie. I haven't seen him.
I know, it's been years, right?
He was in my trainee group because he was training for the back office in my trainee group when Dashel, Robbie, and myself, and Debo as well. Everybody had nicknames. So like Debo, Dashel, I was Nairobi. Although we didn't have one for Robbie. And yeah, it's
Nice. We're dating ourselves.
yeah, whatever, man. It's all fun. It's all fun. You know what's not fun? Crypto. Not right now. Because we're teetering, everybody. I've changed my chart. Don't at me. I used to always use, I used to always use black charts for everything that I was using, and then the show stuff is the white charts. But I changed this one to white because I show you guys this one, and we're supposed to use white charts on the show because it's apparently easier on all of your eyes. But the 60,000 level, we've been back and forth a couple times. This is a daily chart. I guess I should, let's go to 3 minute. So you can see, like we've been back and forth, overnight breakdown, support it. Now we're back underneath. And as long as we're failing this 60,000 level or underneath 60,000 and trending down, I think I'm looking weak on the crypto names. I don't know if we're going to have them in the rundown for sure. So we'll go over that. But got to show that chart of Bitcoin because it is in a bit of a pullback. There was that Mt. Gox, everyone's going to get their money back, and then some people are probably going to sell because they're deep in the money, like they've been held up for a couple of years, and there might be some selling going on there. That's putting some pressure on Bitcoin here. But the market itself is kind of flattish. As long as you hold the trend, I think the crypto names are the other way. Like I like Tesla, we like Apple, and some of the big cap tech. But crypto, for now, looking weak.
All right, let's talk about what we need to know here heading towards 9:30 on what's going to be a pretty quiet day for the overall market. But remember, 1 p.m. close today. What's market looking like?
55.69, Brendo. That's where we closed out yesterday. That has been a key area of resistance going back to all the way to the 17th. So we're right at that resistance level. If we can hold that 50-point level, we can look for another all-time high. All-time high will have to break that 55.90. That is the peak that we got into on the 19th. Let's see if we can make it there today, maybe Friday.
All right, we did have a little technical issue with the watch list today. It has arrived a little bit late. Apologies from us. If you haven't done so, go to the website, tradertv.live. Wait for that pop-up. Enter your email address, and then you get everything you need to know sent right to your inbox every single morning. I am working on a solution to this problem with our current email website. I won't throw them under the bus, but they're, let's just say, not that great. So it's going to get better, so stand by. All right, Tesla here, number one, as it should be after just a massive, massive day yesterday. We get back to 230. Nice run up early on this morning to 240. It has come back in a little bit here. There's a long, long list of positive notes from analysts this morning. Kathy Wood, which is kind of strange, but Kathy Wood on the other side of the equation selling yesterday. A little bit.
I thought the price target was $2,000. Yeah, no, maybe she's buying something else. I don't want to judge too quickly here what Aunt Kathy's doing, but I want to tell you about what they delivered. They delivered 443,000 cars, almost 444,000, but they produced 410, so looking to offload some, previously unsold inventory. There are some headwinds, though, specifically EU tariffs on their Shanghai-produced vehicles. Apparently, though, Tesla eligible for what they call a special duty rate if they formally request it, which would not be made available to some of the actual Chinese electric vehicles like your NIO, your Li, your BYD, and your XPEV, Brendo. Tesla getting special treatment from the EU.
I was just double checking here what her total weighting is. So it's 11.75. It's still her number one holding. What's the total number though? I'm going to find that and get back, but it was about 56,425 shares she sold yesterday, or about 14.5 million notional. But I mean, their holding is north of 700 million at this point total. So very, very small for Kathy.
I see Obi over here already wanted to trade at 235. So I don't like this level that it's at right now. So I'll let you start, because if you like it right here, I'll get to like that dip buy area. But Obi, what do you like about 235? Because you were just talking about it.
Yeah, no, okay, so it's like okay, so pre-market trend, right? All right, let's talk about. That's did not mean to do that. Typed in 3 on my book. There's no ticker name 3. I meant to type in 3 here for 3-minute chart. All right, cool. So let's take out some of these indicators so we can kind of take a look at these candlesticks here. So look at that. Nice little flat top here at that 240. It's a little distinct as we kind of consolidate there for over an hour in the pre-market. It's doing that relative volume as well. And we kind of sell off. We're breaking some of that structure coming off into the open. So this is what I'm looking at here. So off of that, a bit of a trend happening to the downside here. We'll take it off the break. That's what I like doing. Take it off the break of the consolidation, not from the high necessarily, but look at that. We kind of come right up into here, and I was looking at it in the pre-market right now, and I was like, this 234. This might be an interesting place to get involved, and then snap, all of a sudden, starts printing 234s, 60s to 70s, and then we push 235s right into the high of this kind of short-term trend that's been happening, and to take a look at that. Comes into fruition. Selling kind of comes right back in off of that 235 area. We're trading right back down to 234s as of right now. So I was like, all right, I might have missed my entries there. But you know what? I am getting a little enticed into it. But the thing is, the bigger picture, we had good deliveries. This is Catalyst Day 2 on Tesla, and we are holding. Technically, this is a double top at the end of the day, just going into that 231. We saw that crazy action coming in after the imbalances of Tesla ripping up into 231s and some change, making some fresh highs of day going into the close, and we're getting a gap up as well. So we've already pulled back in to near those levels. 4 a.m. candle shows continued strength, right? So this is technically still a higher low, and look at this. Not that. Look at this. This is anchored VWAP from yesterday. We saw how well it respected throughout the day, especially off of the open right here. And then we are still trading above that level. So I'm asking I'm going to ask that same question again. If the bid is real, where will it catch? I think VWAPs and anchoreds are great places to kind of look for that. You have a daily VWAP as well. We're trading below that. So a bit of a sandwich between prior day's anchored VWAP off the deliveries and intraday VWAP as well, with all the volume that's been happening in the pre-market. We're trading below that. So let's see who gets offside. Let's see if we can kind of continue the trend. Let's see where the bid catches, or are we going to take a little bit of a pullback? Something I do want to note and remind myself is the bigger picture trend that we are in right here. We are testing the highs of this trend marked off of November 2021, and it's been distinctly different when it comes up into some of these levels. So let's see if we get more of the same here, but some of these candles really expanding heavily into this prior trend resistance, to say the least. So I'm curious to know. I have no idea what the stock is going to do, but hopefully I am listening well to the chart and the price action, and we capture some opportunities today.
You had a line there, and I got something for it. If the bid is real, then have nerves of steel and go long. No, seriously, I don't. I couldn't rhyme the second part of it. I'm like, have nerves of steel. No, when you drew that resistance line, my first thought was like, hey, if it breaks the resistance line to the upside, that's a long. Go long, that's the real deal, said Ramin. I was trying not to use real deal because I feel like we say that way too much. But that's a good one, Ramin. Thank you. Get Ramin back, and you just get all the goodness in your ear. But look, Tesla, if it breaks trends to the upside, I like what you're saying there with it's got that trend down. But if it breaks any kind of descending wedge, I want to be looking for a long off of that break. Also, if you're looking for dip buys, the most simple dip buy is always into previous resistance turn support. That's yesterday's highs, 231 change. So out in 231 quarters actually where it closed, and it closed pretty much at the high. So dipping down into that level, I'd look long. If it fails that, as you mentioned, you've got that anchored VWAP from yesterday and the hold in the 227 range, which, by the way, is also the support theoretical support, the channel that we drew on the top. If it pulls back underneath 230, you get like 227 or so. So there's all kinds of reasons to like some dip buys, previous high, previous close area, the 227 level. I want to be looking for longs in Tesla. I do want to know, someone asked me what I think about Nikola today, and I just simply said Polestar I like better. If I'm going to short an EV name, Polestar is still doing that thing under $1. It's a holiday shortened day. If it makes the run up and another fail of the dollar level, I just think you go short again. It tried to break out 97s, it got to 98, it went 90, it was able to get shares at 95. Maybe if you're a little faster, you could get some 96s and went all the way back to the bottom. So I'm looking for either a lower high fail or just a fail again at the dollar level. And I am willing to reverse the trade. If Polestar decides it wants to break out above $1, I don't mind being long it, but until that happens, the short is at that level. Only chance I was going to get to even mention Polestar unless it makes a run at $1, and hey, it's in the right space. But Tesla, I'm just looking for those long opportunities, support to resistance or resistance to support. But I like a break of that trend line as well. There will be off of the open. It was explosive yesterday. I'd rather go for continuation and then miss it if it dumps than get away from the trend.
True.
Just noticing there was IBIT with a big bounce right now in the pre-market. Bitcoin not really following suit, but yeah, as Neil was saying, right now at 60,000, maybe that data a little bit delayed. You can see a nice reversal candle here on a 15-minute chart for IBIT, back above $34. So we tested that 34 area for the second time here in the pre-market, trying to bounce nicely now. But yeah, if you zoom out a little bit, it's been pretty weak over the past couple of weeks here for Bitcoin.
Yeah, it has, Brendo, and some of the potential causes for the price volatility, you know, depending on which analyst you talk to, but they're attributing it to several factors. One of them is the anticipated distribution of Bitcoin from the defunct Mt. Gox exchange, which could inject some uncertainty into the market. Some analysts look at this quite optimistically, though. They're looking at that 65,800 level as that level of resistance. If it gets broken, some of them are of the opinion that that 78,700 could come in. So we'll have to keep an eye and see how it does. On the other side of things as well, Ethereum, possible new date for the spot ETF, Brendo, July 15th being floated as a possible date.
Coming up pretty quick here on that note. I was just noting, Neil, you were asking about that AMIX, little tiny one. Is it above $1? Yeah, it is above $1 right now, 130. So there's positive results on a pancreatic cancer trial for AMIX today.
Yeah, so let me just, the reason I was interested in AMIX, it just started doing volume. On a half day like today, you want to make sure that you're interested in looking at names that are actually going. Multitasking here because we don't have Mara short. So I have to pay for shorts on Mara. They're 1/8 of 1 cent per share. So if you want 100 shares of Mara, it's going to cost you like, 12 cents. It's ridiculously cheap. But AMIX, because it broke that $1, it's interesting and it's doing good volume. So I think it's going to be on the radar. If it can hold $1.20, you can see down here. I can always zoom that in for everybody. Why is it not zooming? There we go. If it holds that previous resistance down at $1.20 off the open, I think that would be a good jumping spot. But it's already pulled back pretty significantly off 150. So it needs to consolidate at the open, or it could just be a fall right back into 1. So have it on radar. But for crypto, it's Mara for me. Yesterday was the 23 level, so shout out to anybody that actually got the trade. You know where we were looking. Oh, you can't see 23 if I do that. So you know where we were looking at the open, and it was Tesla longs. It was the right call to be Tesla long in the morning yesterday, but I missed out on the 23 short on Mara because of it. Now, when you look at the daily, it's pretty obvious. The last time we tested 23, you got all the way back to the 50-period moving average. The time before that, you went even deeper. Even a muted move can get you down at least close to the 20 level here after that fail yesterday on Mars. So I want to be shorting pops. As long as we're still in that downward trend in crypto, if you're making a big bounce, then I got to wait for it to get to big resistance here, 22.25, 22.5. And if it breaks out 22.5, you just have to wait for the 23 level again. So Mara is the one that's on my radar. I will sit it out. If I see a big rally in crypto off of the open, I don't want to be against the grain early. But I will wait for it to get into resistance and then look for the curl on Mara. The 23 has been so good for shorts. If it gets near there again, got to take a shot.
Yeah, no, I think Bitcoin taking a little bit of a breather is definitely interesting. Coming down into the lower end of this consolidation range that we've been holding since we broke past that 60 mark. So 60 to 73, 74s is the range, about a 14K range there on Bitcoin, and we're testing near the lows there. So yeah, Mara, I do have that kind of on watch. I was looking at it right here. Yeah, I definitely agree with that 23 level. Look at that kind of a resistance blocked there, and a bit of and it's just chained to this kind of consolidation sideways here between 18 and 22s, 23s. So yeah, if we kind of continue that weakness on Bitcoin, maybe we come back into the lower end of the range there. That I think that might be a look, but again, that 23 that can come in either ways, right? We talk about Bitcoin being at the lower end of the range. If it catches a bid, then that 23 has a lot more confluence for a pushback above. Something else I do want to note is MicroStrategy. So MicroStrategy looking a little bit more similar to the Bitcoin. Again, they're one of the main things that they do is hold the crypto. So it is pushing down a little bit of a downtrend since mid-May here on MicroStrategy, pushing back into what seems like an inverse head and shoulders that was made off of this earnings in this earnings time zone here in between April and May there. So interesting stuff nonetheless. 1200 right there. 1200 clean roughly. It seems that is a bit of support there on MSTR as it kind of fades back in. So going to be watching Bitcoin for some of these moves here, and I know people like Riot as well. Riot in a bigger picture downtrend as well, maybe a little bit more in sync, or I guess looking a little weaker, just like Bitcoin is what I'm trying to say. Something else I do want to check is Ethereum. I know that can be looking at Bitcoin without looking at some of the Ethereum, and Ethereum looking relatively similar as well, a bit of a downtrend after a strong volume push that we had mid to end of May here earlier this year, and we've been kind of fading off of that. Couldn't really get back to prior all-time highs in and around that 4K mark on Ethereum. So yeah, definitely crypto on watch, but probably not the main focus of today's trading day, I would say.
Just discussing Nancy Pelosi's most recent transactions, buying more Nvidia and Broadcom going into this week. So at the end of last week, selling some Tesla and selling some Visa.
But the Tesla shares were like a fraction of
very, very small. Yeah. Very, very small. But anyway, let's go to Dell. Bank of America, as we said, if you're with us in the first 30 minutes this morning, Bank of America with a positive note, adding Dell to their U.S. #1 list. So we're right back to that last pivot high there if you go back to the middle of June.
Yeah, Brendo, and the surge in Dell stock is really one of the reasons that they're adding it to the ideas here. It's all really the AI play. They build out the data centers. We saw Michael Dell at the Nvidia event launch, or the launch event for the Blackwell chip a few months ago. So strong relationships between those two companies, and they're looking to benefit from it.
Yeah, not a lot of volume here this morning, but nice gap here, 2.25 for Dell today.
Quickly before we get to Dell, what Visa did, only because you mentioned Visa there, what Visa did at the close was just spectacular. Breakout and huge rally at the end of the day. Usually this is the kind of name at the end of the day. It has an imbalance, it pairs off, it's boring, all that stuff, but it's flat today. I don't know if there's going to be much continuation. The volume's it's pretty piss right now, but it's got some room if it can take out 69 into like 71. But Dell's the one. I got this one on my list after Tesla and Mara. Today, Mara looking for the short pop. Tesla obviously looking for the dip, which if you were already in the long, wow. I kind of just, as a lark, Obi, like I threw this up on Tesla. Yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, that trend line Obi drew. I guess if you just go long on a break of that downtrend, oh look at that. Breaks a downtrend, dips into it and rips. That's what strong stock should do. But Dell, I think Dell's a strong stock. If we get down into the 145 at the open and can bounce there, I'm looking for a dip and rip on Dell today. Just some continuation. It's making higher lows on the daily. It has a chance to break out this channel. I'd rather buy into the dip on a holiday shortened day But if it breaks out this top, I'll just got to look for a place to join. You still have some overhead resistance, as you can very, very clearly see. But that was a huge rejection at 155 that pulled all the way back into what? That same day, 145. So 145 is kind of the level I like for a long. There's plenty of room for it to go if it can have a big rally on Dell.
Yeah, we talked about Dell a little bit earlier there, and yeah, pushing the break of that trend there that I've pointed out. Actually, Neil pointed out to me, and then I was like, yeah, look at these anchors that it's been holding, and we are pushing off of that, attempting for a break. So yeah, I'll be looking for a potential continuation going off into the open today as we are breaking some trend resistance, but it's only touched about twice there, and strong aggressive selling right off of the open when it does kind of attempt to test this level. So maybe all this consolidation in between this prior earnings anchored and the most recent earnings anchored as well might give us that oomph to the upside there. I'll be watching that 150 as well as a potential interesting area. Look at that nice little pop test there and a pop test as well after the earnings flushes down off of the earnings reaction flushes down off of the pop, and it rejects 150 as well. So 150 has been a little bit interesting to me. I'll be looking for more of the same. We are about 3 points away from that. So the question I'm asking right now is, what is Dell's ATR? Should probably have that in mind when trading the name. 7.74 is the ATR there, and I guess we have we definitely have the range to push that 150 on the day today.
All right, let's talk about Chinese ADRs here, back higher as a group, which is kind of interesting because I was just seeing Chinese stocks overnight were actually lower on the session. So nice end of the day yesterday here for Alibaba with a share repurchase announced for Baba, so a gap to the upside. A few minor news stories in the EV group as well. Saw NIO was, I mean, it's not terribly active here, but back to that high from last week on NIO, XPeng, looking very similar here. I mean, Li Auto as well, back at long-term levels.
Yeah, well, Li Auto back above $20, announcing that they had that zero down purchase program there. Didn't know that wasn't a thing in China. We'll have to keep an eye on that. But as Brendo mentioned, Alibaba getting a nice nod today. $5.8 billion share buyback program, which is helping stabilize market sentiment. It's been on a 3-day rally on the Hang Seng, doing well. They're also investing in Ocean-based Ant Group, which is a subsidiary of Alibaba's, also going through restructuring. So looking like there are some positive signs for some of these ADRs.
Yeah, not a heck of a lot of action so far this morning, but thoughts here, guys, for these?
Alibaba. Yeah, I mean, Alibaba, you just needed to take it out when it got to 90. Obviously, the hindsight's going to be 2020, but it's right back into where the buying has been good on Alibaba has generally been in that low 70s range and the dips underneath $70. It just could not break that 90 level. So disappointment, I'd say. For those that are interested in it, it's done the old patented. I mean, it is what it is. Like the 50 period's gone above the 200, so there was a golden cross. As you can see, it's gone down since then. But 76 here, sorry, not 75. 76 has been a local top. And then you pop it up here, and you don't wonder if it continues this move, is it not a fade into that high on Alibaba? And then the other one worth watching, these aren't at the top of the list. I got to keep it, Tesla today, Dell, Amara, maybe even a little bit of Rivian. We talked about Apple. But PDD is probably testing that $36 on 136 level on any strength. So it broke down, it failed at once. The only issue is a holiday shortened day, it's already failed the 136 level. So I think your chance to maybe get underneath that line and make a little bit of a cheeky trade, you've already missed your 1 point move here in the pre-market. And it might just be more enticing if it can break it out. I think there might be more. It's just more interesting. It's already made the move. If it pops back into 136, I don't know if that's the one I want to stand in front of anymore. So I've kind of canceled that idea and maybe move it over to Alibaba. If we get up to that 76 level on Baba, I think that can be a short instead. Whereas I wouldn't want to get in the way of Pinduoduo. It's already done the pullback on ridiculously light volume. You got to try to stay in the pocket today. Tesla, you know, is moving. Dell, you know, is in play. Crypto's in play. Chinese ADRs, very light volume. And if you start out with light volume on a half day, it's a pretty easy guess that you might continue to have light volume at that open. I got to have something that's actually trading at the open.
Yeah, so whenever we say Chinese ADRs, there's three tickers that come to mind, JD, PDD, and BABA. So I did pull all of those up on the weekly, and a little bit of a distinct difference on the PDD versus the other two here. So JD, this is a weekly chart, so we are looking quite weak there. Only about, again, shortened week here, but prior weeks, we've been red back-to-back since the 20th, the week of the 20th of May, there on PDD, kind of following in line with the bigger picture trend. Same thing here with BABA. BABA exhibiting a similar kind of weakness here, bigger overall since 2021. We've been making lower highs and lower lows, but when you go over to PDD, take a look at that, distinctly different. As we've retraced, yeah, sure, it had its all-time highs in and around 2021s, and then it has recovered a good chunk of it. I would say over 50% reversion off of the lows on PDD. Now again, PDD is the holder of Temu as well, right? So I think there's been a lot of buzz in and around that. We know that Amazon's trying to adopt similar models to BABA and PDD there with that. But yeah, the chart looking distinctly different. It is in an uptrend. So when it comes to ADRs, not all of them look the same here. PDD definitely exhibiting some interesting action nonetheless. But yeah, looking at it on a daily chart here, a bit of a sideways action for the past week or so, keeping the bigger picture in mind though.
Surprised we didn't put Paramount. Hey, what's up, Pat?
All right, Apple, will wrap things up here real quick. Not really doing a heck of a lot here pre-market, but 2 days in a row, just straight to the upside. 220 yesterday, all-time highs, coming back in a little bit right now to that aftermarket level. Minor headline this morning regarding OpenAI.
Yeah, just basically adding an observer to the board, goes by the name of Phil Schiller. He's the current App Store leader. The addition to the board is supposed to be finalized by the end of this year, and Microsoft not too happy about it, as it does kind of put some of their plans with OpenAI in question, because Apple will know about it.
Remember, coming up at 9:45, S&P Global Composite and Services PMI final data. Again, 9:45, 10 o'clock, we'll get the ISM version of the same. Factory orders coming up at 10 o'clock. Some housekeeping, the midday show 1 hour today, and then we'll be back at 12 o'clock to wrap things up at 1 p.m. for you.
I'm glad you remembered to say that, because we're supposed to mention that to everybody. 1 p.m. close does mean the open is extra important. So Apple, all-time high, look, if it breaks out the half, 220.5, that's obviously a fresh top. The actual high is like 40-something in here. A decent chance it could go. If it doesn't, I just want to look at the obvious support levels. Go to the 15-minute chart, I like it better. So if we get down in here, if we lose 218.5, no bets. But if we can bounce off that price, maybe you get a range-bound day. That's a good $2 range or $1.50 range on Apple. So if we can hold the top end of that, I think just go into the dip buy. It is 9:28, so I didn't want to pop over and show you guys the imbalances. On a holiday shortened day, you're not really expecting much. The only thing of note is Amazon sell 250,000. That's not a heck of a lot, but it is the only thing out there on that imbalance locator. So Apple looking pretty decent. Pass overdose. Are you shorting AMD? Like I said, yesterday AMD, we definitely shorted AMD. Now AMD, the top of the trend line, is likely going to be tested today. It's always, am I shorting AMD? The answer is it getting to 166 or 166.5? That's the answer to my question. If it does, answer would be yes. Up here, sure, I would short it. But unless it's failing underneath 163, I might find a short if it plunges through 63 at the open. But you guys can see the level we mentioned in the afternoon show. So that's what I want to watch. 1 minute to the open here, Obi.
Oh boy, yeah, no, definitely. Apple,
Dell.
Apple all-time highs on watch for sure. There. Let's see what the open has in store for us. But Tesla's the one. 235s are testing it. Rejected pre-market. That VWAP in the morning. Intraday VWAP there. So. Got both on watch. Amazon as well pushing that 200, but Apple through those highs. Again, market tailwind dictating. I think that's definitely well within the stars. Dell on watch as well. So good luck, everybody. We only have about 30 seconds left. 20,200 holding as of right now in the pre-market session. So let's see what we have. Good luck to everyone. And here we go with the countdown to the bell, Neil.
Let's go. We've got a holiday shortened day, so let's get it locked and loaded, get those trades in, but be very particular and patient. In 2 and 1, ring it, Adara. So, hey, if you're brave enough to have wanted to short Tesla,
oh, it's working.
I mean, it's okay. Working is a loose term. It is moving back into the downside. But if we get into that support, you know where I'm kind of really fading into. But not fading into. I want to be dipping into. Not a heck of a lot happening right away. So you do want to be patient. We've talked about this. This is the kind of day that you don't want to get too wrapped up unless you get a key level. Dell broke out. So Tesla, if it drops into support, we're going to try and grab it. It's not doing much. Dell did break out right at the open, or right before the open, I should say. And you're right back in here pulling back. So the 145 is what we like. Nvidia is starting to churn to the upside. So if we're not getting the dip buy there and the market's going up, I got to go over to AMD, which is pushing into that 165, 166 half is where we like it. Oh, we forgot about Rivian. Rivian 15.15. Keep it really simple. 15.15, that was the top. If it breaks it out, I think it can go absolutely screaming.
Here comes 236. 235 held quite well there, about 300 lots on 236. Let's see if we can kind of crack that. VWAP sitting at 236.40, so that's what I'm watching right here. 236 just slams right through it, and we are attempting to push 236.40s there at VWAP, only about 10. So I did get a little long on top of the 235, but again, lots of chop, lots of volume getting churned. It's only the first minute here. Let's see if we can blast through that VWAP and break some of those pre-market levels here. Pre-market, there it goes. There is that VWAP right here. So what do we get? What kind of action do we see? Slams right through 70s printing and coming right back into 40s again. So looking quite strong here. And what is the next high in the pre-market, you may ask? 237, and we're right there knocking on the door of 237, only about 20 pennies away from that one there. So aggressive strength coming into Tesla, a little bit of a continuation from yesterday happening as of right now, 237s. Let's see what you got. Those are some of those pre-market highs, but that 240 is the high we were talking about, consolidates there for over an hour in the pre-market session. Oh, we're back down to 235s. Oh boy, is this action quite aggressive. That VWAP pop got sold off aggressively and then comes right back up into 236 half. So a lot of chop and churn. That 235 hold was pretty distinct a little bit there, continuing, breaking through that pre-market downtrend that we were talking about just a little bit earlier here. Let's see what we do in and around this 236, 235 mark. Again, VWAP being at 236, 37s. We are holding that as of right now. The initial test
237
got pushed. Yeah, 237's looking good, man.
If 237 breaks, I think it can be an ad spot there. You're getting a pretty distinct hold. It did break out the local high. No dip back into VWAP on that break back in. So first scalp. If we get under support, we'll try to add that way, or we just break out the 237 and then add there. AMD did not get to 166. If you shorted it early, congratulations to you. And Polestar is at 92. If it gets to $1, remember we like shorts in Polestar in front of that dollar level. So that is going to be on the radar. Dell, oh my goodness, Dell, which is on the New York, Neil. Goodness. Dell still making its breakout. I did not get the dip buy into previous support. We got to join this trend. We thought we'd get a dip into 45. We're not going to get that at all. So we got to try to jump into this trend on Dell. You want that early move on a holiday shortened day. You don't want it to get out of pocket and then all of a sudden you have no trade whatsoever. So I'm jumping into Dell 48s. We'll give it back into that 47, 150 can be a bit of a target. No news on what the heck is going on with cost, by the way. So for anyone that's looking at cost, I don't know what's going on with this stock, but it is up 33%. and still going. It actually broke $6. So no idea what the news is, but we'll keep our eyes and ears glued to see if there is anything going on.
237s. There was a stack on the offer that got taken out, and we're printing 50 pennies above that. That little pullback was quite nice into 236s. 237s coming in. Can we get to that 240? That 240 was distinctly different, like I said, only about 3 points away. And Amazon, funny, I have Amazon on the other screen, but Tesla has an ATR of just above 8 points there, so it's well within range, only about 3 points away for that 340, breaking through some of these pre-market levels here. 237s holding as of right now, but again, lots of volatility, lots of chop, and we are still right above that VWAP being at 236.40s once again. So chop and churn, some of this pre-market action, not really too visible here because I got some wicks going on there, but I'm not going to deal with those. My eyes are straight on the tape. I do not need the chart for this one as of right now. Okay,
Huge
there's
seller,
some size.
seller.
Yeah, there's a huge size at a random price right there. It got taken out. Buddy, what did you have? More than 40,000 shares got slapped on the ass.
76,400 shares was on the
boy.
offer. Got taken out in one shot on Tesla. Look, the second it got taken out, I kind of got grouped in there. I got some at the 50 level out in front of it. So a couple of breakouts so far on Tesla as this continues to run to the upside. On the way to 240, I don't know if there's going to be one more place that we can add on the way to 240, but that's going to be an obvious target. Like I said, holiday shortened day, you want to have some targets out there. And I might have missed my chance in Polestar. If Polestar does not get to the dollar, remember yesterday we had a 95 on Polestar. It just failed to break at 93, so I'm going to jump into the short off of this 93 level here on PSNY. Adara.
Penny stock on watch here, Zoom Car Holdings, ZCAR. They had a filing yesterday which revealed they're looking to see a year-over-year increase in revenue and a decline in their net loss for fiscal 2024. So ZCAR currently up about 75%, pushing towards that 25-cent level here on volume, guys.
Cost is getting out of hand. I don't know what's going on with this stock, but so obviously something is happening here. It just broke and held above 6. If this is going to be the one today, I might try to find something in cost to get an early runner. Dell's starting to pull back in there. Ooh, I got wicked out of Dell. We'll try to jump back into it, but cost has got my attention. It does seem to be the biggest mover that isn't Tesla right now, so I do want to see if we can find something in there. If it halts, I'm not chasing any halt moves today, but if we can get something back into $6, that would make some sense. And I'm on the offer trying to pick up some PSNY short, but Polestar doesn't want to get up high enough to give me the short.
Yeah, so it did get a little bit more here. 237 halves testing. 238s is roughly the high of intraday right now, and we are pushing for that right here. Testing the 90s, about 400 lots sitting there at that 238. Let's see if we can kind of crack that there. Very, very strong off the open once again, and there it goes, 238s right through, printing about 10s, teens. Can we print the quarter? Can we print the quarter? It is coming right back down. It's holding that 238 as of right now. Lots of volume is churning in and around some of these levels here. We've only been bidding up. Well, we did have a little bit of a pullback down into 236s, which was nice. 238, 30s testing. Can we hold the quarter and print the half? There's some of the half. We're back down at the quarter right here. Yeah, it is. This is super, super strong there. This is now coming into that pre-market consolidation of 240s, and the low of that consolidation is right here, just in and around 238.80s. So we're knocking on the door at the low of that 1 hour consolidation. Can we push some of those levels? And for that 240 there, 238 still churning a lot of volume here as we speak. And there is some, I guess, no, it's coming right back in. I don't want to misinterpret some of this information here, but the tape is very aggressive and fast as of right now. A lot of wipes into the ask and into the bid. So the book is being kind of sloshed around here. Once again, Tesla day 2, ludicrous mode indeed. Here come the 239s. What's the size sitting at 239s? I only see about 300 lots as of right now. We are printing that last quarter before we push into that 239. So we are within the range of that 1 hour consolidation in the pre-market right now, only about a point away from those highs. We printed some 239s right there, and we are above that. So, okay, cool. Can we get to one more point? This is, it seems like Tesla will eat size for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. just the opening session, it would seem. Amazon just pulling into that 200 as well, so I do have eyes on that. But like I said, I got my eyes on the most beautiful thing in the market right now, and that is Tesla. That is Tesla. This is such a beautiful price action. Do these pullbacks get bought up once again? 238 halves testing right now. We are a little extended. Like I said, this is testing that consolidation, that 1 hour consolidation. So can we expect a little bit of a pullback? I think so, but are we going to get that continuation? We're printing right back above 239 once again. 240s incoming. Hello. Can you give it to me? I have no idea, but I'm going to be patiently waiting. I got to watch this tape, Neil. What's going on?
No, it's all about Tesla. Let's be real. Tesla getting to 240. If it curls at 240, that's got to be it. Oh, AMD was so close, but not quite. No cigar for you, AMD. Not 166. It just turned at 165. We've got to be patient. We want our levels. Let's go to Adara. She's got some news for us.
Another small cap on watch here, Inspire Veterinary Partners, IVP. Not seeing any news on this one. Currently halted here, up more than 100%. But it is worth noting some of the specifics of this one. We do have a market cap of around $1 million, float of about 914,000 shares. So very small float, very small market cap. Keep an eye on IVP, guys.
So a little bit of trouble with the 39 level, and then you hold 38 half up here. We added one time. I don't know if we want to add again, but if you hold this steep trend to the upside, I think you couldn't get one more bounce. We still want that push. I'd like it pushing into the 240 level, and we'll see what can happen there. All right, cost is not really generating a heck of a lot over the $6 level. Might have to get away from that. And Mara, no short Mara, because Mara didn't get to 23. I wanted to be short this name. We didn't get anything. It's got to be AMD or Nvidia if we're hunting for something else. The fade, Nvidia nowhere near 123. AMD close. Oh my goodness. No, AMD is really starting to break. Now it's underneath the 163 level. I said short the pop, and I didn't short the pop on this name. I did just get Polestar. That finally filled at 92. We're giving that one. I want to get one more fill and give it into that 95 level. But AMD right at that key, 163. If it loses it for good, that could be a short. But I want to be patient. We wanted the short pops today. I don't want to be chasing too many moves in here. So Tesla's still working. I still think we have a good shot to get that reload out in front of 240. And PSNY, the newest opportunity for me, is just basically shorting the lower high. We didn't get that pop like we did yesterday, so shorting the lower high. We'll give it to yesterday's afternoon top and see if it can do exactly what it did, which is when it made a pop at the open, fall all the way to the bottom. It was a good one yesterday. Can it repeat?
Oh boy, we took a nice little pullback there into 238s, and we kind of held on the bid, so I got a little bit more on that. 239s coming right back in. Can we pull into the 240s? Can we print the quarter? Can we hold the quarter and print the half? We just attempted to print the quarter once again at 239s, but bidding right back below that 239 as of right now. Again, some of that strength a little bit dissipating, but we are pushing right back in as the bid is holding on every little dip that's been happening on this name. Again, very, very strong. Catalyst to day 2 on this one. Delivery numbers. Not only that, we're breaking out of dailies. We're breaking out of the weekly. We are pushing into a multi-time frame resistance, a multi-year resistance above some of these levels here. And the bid is very, very aggressive on a lot of these pullbacks. Pre-market lows at 232s, intraday lows just above 234s, and pre-market highs just at 240s right here. Now we're printing above that quarter. Can we print the half? There's some size that keeps on flashing at the half, but it's only about 100 some lots. And yeah, Tesla will eat through that like it's butter. You can take a look at if you have a size filter right there. The block boys are definitely partying today. A lot of blocks going through on midpoints as well. So it's like, all right, cool. So you're getting all the liquidity there. Here comes the halves. Can we print some of those halves? All right, we printed some of those halves, but we're pulling right back in after printing some of those halves. We're only about half a point away from that high at 240. Now even less. Can we print that last little quarter is what I'm asking. This momentum is absolutely crazy. Why don't I have more, Neil? Absolutely crazy. So here, okay, so we're in the 70s now. Where is the next level of resistance here? So I got some lines on my chart.
Outside of the
241 half. I got 241 half as a prior resistance level. If we break through that 240, which we're coming up into right now, oh boy, Momentum on Tesla.
I don't want to add on this break.
This is wild.
No, let it
You
break.
don't want to add on the
No.
break?
If it fails
Yeah.
the break, I think maybe like an out and then a dip into 238 will be the play. Polestar just ticked. I didn't want to add to Polestar. I just took it out for $1.50 with all the EVs going because at the same moment, Rivian broke that high. So Tesla is the one. Rivian just broke top, but the 240 level. If it fail breaks, I jump out and look for a dip into 38 or VWAP. If it sustains the breakout, I think you just try to hold it and maybe look for an ad somewhere else. Rivian is absolutely flying. It made that break. The local break happened at 15.15, and then it took the 20s real quick. I got in on the 20s, did not get the 15s. As you can see, I'm actually still bidding out in front of 15 in case we get filled. Just like the afternoon yesterday, we got the 40 and the 60 levels up here above this local breakout. So Rivian may not be doing may have pulled back on some of that news with Volkswagen, but still looking relatively strong. Let's go to Adair. We've got numbers in seconds. All right.
We're waiting on these S&P Global Composite PMI and Global Services PMI. Final numbers for the month of June coming in here. Previous for Global Composite coming in at 54.5. Previous 54.8 for S&P Global Services. So just waiting to get, yes, for Global Composite, we get 54.8. So exactly in line here with estimate, sorry, slightly above estimates of 54.6. Then for Global Services PMI, 55.3, slightly above estimates of 55.1. So both of these numbers slightly above estimates here. SPY still pretty flat on the day here for the S&P 500. Also worth noting this coming through as well. A report here from Windows Central that Apple's looking to bring ChatGPT and Google Gemini under its Apple Intelligence and apparently reportedly set to announce partnership with Google this fall. So AAPL and GOOGL potential partnership on watch here, guys.
Like that, that's going to be
Large cap association.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be good for them. So picked up those 15s on Rivian. Come on, give me some 26s. Let's try to grab. We picked up that 15 on Rivian in here, so we'll try to get some out that high. If it doesn't take the high, Tesla's starting to pull back as well. We've got to watch out for that. In the meantime, while we're on that name, also, you had this reclaim of 145 level on Dell. So I'm long at 31s. It broke back above 45s. First breakout didn't work, but it came to the 45 level, held it. I'll give it to the local bottom and no more on DELL. So it might be the second churn. The thing about the 240 is if it consolidates into the 240, suddenly it looks a little bit better as a break. And if I'm going to take the break, I might just get out of this trade and look for the breakout and dip buy to come in. So one more push up into that $0.50, and I'm going to take it up because I'm convincing myself that this is a potential breakout trade, and that might be it. If we don't get the break now, remember it's a half day, so at 10 o'clock you want to be into those big moves. Make sure you've taken your profit on the early trade. So I'm just going to grab out 36s and 37s, only breakouts. It never really dipped dipped far enough for me to get into that 32 level and 31. So I'll take it out. But the 240s in play, dip buy back into 237 here on Tesla, also going to be in play. So we're still in Dell. We still got that Rivian trying to grab some $0.50 out. But you want to make sure you pay yourself on these half days. Because if this is the only move and we never break 240, then you don't want to sit there waiting for something that doesn't happen. But hey, you can always get back in. There's still plenty of time. It's only been 17 minutes. Adara.
Couple meme and heavily shorted names here and watch without any specific catalyst. One of them is going to be Tilray, TLRY, doing a bit more of an outsized move with volume, especially compared to MSOS, so the other cannabis-related stocks. Tilray does have a short float of about 14%. And of course, we also have KOSS. This one is still moving. No news, but a lot of mentions here in social media coming in after the open. So a couple of these short float-related names on watch, guys.
Yeah, Uber making some moves. I see here it's trying to make a breakout of its own. I don't want to chase. Not going to chase Uber. Not today. We did get that fill on Rivian, so we're able to get some. We're able to get filled at 26 in there. So we got a bit of a dip buy back into the previous top, but it needs to resolve itself. If we are failing a breakout, don't want to get trapped. If the breakout fails, it gets back under 10. I think we just jump out of it. Tesla in the midst of its pullback. Let's go to the 3-minute. You got to look at the 3-minute here. So if we got it right, then VWAP sits here at 237. That was also a local breakout. Any bounce off of 237, I think, can be a reentry. Oh, goodness. Displaying Waves just said short Tesla. I mean, not me. I mean, I'm not looking to gift horse in the mouth. Like, I like the logic of getting out and trying to look for a reentry, especially, like I said, holiday shortened day. But I'm not trying to short it. No. Somebody else can. I mean, if it works, it works, but I'm not doing it. So I'm not looking shorts on Tesla. No, I mean, you know what? I don't mean to be like bad about it. You can make money shorting the stock. I'm just not trying to short it today. I think sometimes you can have a bias and it's good, and other times it can burn you, but you got to start from somewhere. So I want to look for reentry. If I'm looking for shorts, I'm not looking for reentries into the long on Tesla, which I think can be a bit of a problem, especially when it's the stock of focus.
Yeah, no, it is taking a little bit of a pullback here, right onto that 8 moving average that it has been kind of holding, pulls back into VWAP as well. So again, I kind of botched up my average just slightly, kind of buying it all up. I got to do better with that, but we are printing that 239 once again as of right now. Again, looking for that attempted push into that 240. Been trading this ticker for about a couple of days, and it definitely punishes players on both sides with the kind of volatility that it has. So again, early shorts that are getting in off of that pullback, looking for that to get offside as of right now. I could very well be wrong, but we'll see what happens with this crazy price action that Tesla has in store for us. What is going on, Adara?
Another name in the move here, a bit of a smaller one here, going to be ZAP EV. This is an EV name that's been moving for a little bit of while here. ZAPP, no news on this one, but just getting its highest volume candle of the day here by quite a bit, up about 22%. We do have a float of about 1.6 million shares, market cap around $7 million for ZAPP, for anyone looking for these smaller names moving, guys.
Apple high of the day break as well, so we can pretty much stick a fork in, well, it's not over yet. VWAP could still happen here on Tesla. We are tracking back. Come on, pull back in. We want to pick something up at VWAP. Apple just made a fresh high as well, so this is Apple. Tesla's going to be the big focus today. I think there's no question about it. But Apple just broke out the top. You'll see it taking these 80s. I got in, and I'm looking for the even dollars as an add. So this is not a kind of day where I want to wait around for it to get to, necessarily that even dollar level. We'll take it in front of the local break, and then we'll just add to it if it breaks to even. But here comes Tesla. Tesla now really starting to pull back in here. I think this is what we got to be focused on. If it bounces off VWAP, great. I think we'll be focused on it. But looking pretty good so far on Tesla. Just got to get one more shot in there before we hit 10 o'clock, ideally. AMD still a nothing burger, and Dell, I think that one is just going to be a fail for now. Dell just trending into the downside. You don't want to, if it's going to hold levels, great. I could have scalped 50 cents on it, but it's now trending to the downside. Not going to fight it. Apple's going. Tesla's still trending to the upside as far as I'm concerned. So those are the ones to be focused on, at least for the next like 10, 15 minutes until something changes.
Yeah, definitely that trend is holding as of right now. Again, bigger picture trend is what we're talking about. And yesterday we looked at, we were looking for VWAP, and the fact that it hovered above VWAP all day, not really taking a significant pullback. Actually, there was one pullback into anchored VWAP, which happened around, I think, 226's middle to end of day, and then we had crazy strength going into the close, almost squeeze-like action coming in after those imbalances pushing up into 231s, which was definitely interesting to me here. We are chopping and churning again, 239s right there. We talk about that 1 hour consolidation that happened in the pre-market. Can we have some trouble off of that? I was like, yes. Definitely, we can look for a little bit of a pull here and there, kind of a chop when we come into that level, and that's pretty much what we've gotten so far here. Trading just in and around, in between. It's getting knocked around in between that 238, 239 level as of right now. But yeah, it has kind of slowed down. A lot of mid prints still going on there, so you're not really seeing too many flushes or too many pops. But a lot of midpoint churn happening as well. But yeah, I saw that Sharif was mentioning Apple is at 221s. Again, look at the market. The market is super, super strong. So talk about a tailwind for some of these longs here on the day. Absolutely crazy. Wow. We are pushing up into 20,300 as of right now.
Nvidia just went green too.
Wow, what is Nvidia up to?
Nvidia just went green. So Apple broke 221, local high break, consolidation breakout. There was no dip buy to be had, you guys can see, unless you wanted 220. Then broke the even dollar, just took the quarters. Now we'll look to see if it gets to 222. Hey, it'd be nice if we got 222.22. 222.22. I feel like that happened there was something yesterday we were talking about that. I don't know what it was, but someone's going to remind me what that was. It was probably 222 on Tesla at some point.
Yeah, I had
but Tesla's still not giving us that dip back into support just yet. So this is running. Nvidia just went green on the day. So I guess it wants to join the party. The market's only up slightly, and Nvidia is only up slightly. That 123 has been pretty key level. So I would look short there first if you're going to look for something short. It was going to be the chip names. AMD still not doing anything. I mean, it's a weak stock. No breakdown under 163, no push up to 166, so not much to do there. But Apple joining the party. Tesla holding 48s. Might have it wrong with VWAP for the dip buy. So I'm just going to cancel it. Maybe be a little bit patient. We got to pick our spot here. It could end up being this 238 level, but we want to get back into some Tesla with Apple now churning to the upside in the market going. We'd like to try to get something else here on Tesla. Don't want it to be just a one and done at this point.
Yeah, no, Tesla.
Or two and done, I guess.
It's yeah, that push up into that 240 area was absolutely wild. Their high of day as of right now sitting at 239.80s. And again, like I said, within the pre-market consolidation, we are getting quite aggressive here in and around this 238. Bit of a chop right now. Some of these candles, some of the prices definitely compressing here. We took a strong pullback, and then we've printed about a couple dojis as well. So the pullback getting a little bit muted on top of that 8 moving average as of right now, just on top of that 238 mark. And something I'm noticing is that whenever it does pop, there's less of a resistance on the pops than there is on the flushes. So I guess it's more viscous when it comes into the bid, but it's a lot less viscous when it pulls up into the ask there. And this flow is what I'm talking about when it comes to viscosity there. And 240s coming into play almost there. Holding the quarters. Can we print the halves? Printing 30s as of right now, 239s. So let's see, high a day, like I just said, is 239.80s. So we may be poised for some of that right now. But yeah, taking a pullback once again off that 239. And look at again, market tailwind dictating this is hella strong as of right now. Here comes the market. Can we push into that 20,300? It's on its way as of right now. This is absolutely wild.
Yes, we can. Of course we can.
We can.
Can we break the high of the day? Well, okay, well, if Apple's going to go, if Microsoft wants to help out Tesla,
shorts.
Every time I get on the bid of Tesla, you just don't get it. It's like it wants to make that bounce. But you need some help. Microsoft just went red, but if it can take VWAP here, then we got a little something for this market. Apple still pressing at those highs. Nvidia's having some trouble as well, but it's trending to the upside. It needs to break 123. Still think that can be a short, but AMD looks bad. The market's up and AMD is consolidating lower. So if the market turns, AMD breakdown could be in play. It's still got to be Apple and Tesla, at least as far as I'm concerned. Apple is it's holding up around those highs. Given it's a holiday shortened week, I mean, if it loses 220.80, I think I'd just jump out of the trade. But I'm still looking for a push into 222 at this point. You just want a little bit more. Nick Houghton says, look at Micron. Is that strong? Looking for a chip name that can join this party. Maybe not Micron. Micron lower highs, not much happening. I like the distinctness of AMD. That's why it's setting up. Like AMD is very clearly weak here. Like pressing those lows, failing a breakout. So you have a failed breakout, pressing lows into a potential flat bottom break. I like that setup. So if we can get this one, that would look like more of a short. I had an idea to look at like Nike for more continuation, but I'm kind of thinking that's the wrong idea. Just stick to the names that you were planning on trading. So here comes another dip in Tesla. You didn't get the last one. All right, so cancel and then look to see if we can pick something up in here. The wick through 238 was a bit of a psych. I think you got to get it closer to the 23 level here. Next offer on Apple, I might have to take something out at the half if we're stalling out. It's almost 10 o'clock already.
Yeah, time is flying along with this Tesla price action right now. So we are getting some aggressive selling back down to the downside here, right into 238s, picks right back up Oh boy, this is getting volatile here. A little chop.
Getting volatile.
Oh yeah, the tape is speeding up again a little bit more there. Dips right into that moving average and then rips right back up off of that 238. Absolutely crazy. Can we even see 239s again? Some of these candles are looking pretty hairy here. I'm looking at the 5-minute chart. I'm looking at the 15-minute chart as well. Holding some of these prior levels. I also have 237 as a bit of an interesting level, and we've only held that level as of right now. But 238, chop, chop, chop is getting pretty aggressive here as of right now. Markets, are you pulling back a little bit there? Yeah, I guess that's where that weakness may be coming off of. The futures pulling back just a little bit there off of those highs in the 20,300s.
I know you're watching the tape too. There is some selling in the 75 range right now. So if you're looking at Tesla closely, it bounced off this quarter mark, 238 quarter, and then there's a bunch of selling at that 75 mark. So if I'd like to join it, scalp, and then maybe break back to like the 238 to look for an entry. You're also running into some resistance on Apple. But you know what time it is? Still sellers at that 75 range. Now they've come down to 69. There it is. It just presses. So we got that fill in front of 239. Now we can cruise back into 240 and go to the desk for happening now.
Just got some numbers coming in here. They are going to be a series of ISM-related numbers. So ISM Services PMI 48.8, below the estimate here of 52.6. Factory orders month over month negative 0.6 compared to the positive 0.2 estimate. ISM Services prices paid here coming in at 66.3, above the 56.7 expectation. ISM Services Index new orders 47.3, well below the 53.6 estimate. ISM Services employment also coming in below estimates here, 46.1 versus 49 expected. Core durable goods revised coming exactly in line with expectations here, negative 0.1 versus negative 0.1 estimated. Core durable goods revised also coming in the same here, 0.1% versus 0.1% expected. But yeah, getting a bit of a move down there on the SPY with some good volume on those numbers here. Again, just to recap the main ones, we did get below expectations here for ISM Services PMI 48.8 compared to the 52.6 estimate. Some other names moving here. We had Apple hitting new all-time highs, getting to that 221 level. Couple positive catalysts, including some AI-related news, getting a seat on OpenAI's board as an observer, and also reportedly set to announce a collaboration with Google with regards to AI in September. Then we have Mara here, down about 3.5%. Lots of Bitcoin weakness, guys.
So
wild.
Just to describe everything that just happened on Tesla, apologies for my 3-minute chart not really being able to do it for you. So got 30s on the number, got 37.75s. We're then able to get out halves. It then broke 239, covered 239. I'm back on the bid. Got in again at 30s. So we're going to try and do the same dip. And then the same thing happened in Apple. So Apple dips down on the number right back into that 220.80 level. We're able to pick some up, scalp some out, and now we're breaking the highs again. So dip and rip and dip and rip. And that's the name of the game today. So we stick with it. No AMD short still, but who cares? Buy the dips, buy the dips, buy the dips. Apparently Lucid is moving. So because Randy is here and he asked me about it yesterday, I will bring up the chart and then say that I am not interested in Lucid yet. But it is going, and it's trying to join the party. It's got a good short float, but if it breaks $3, it's got a little something going for it. So Tesla, Apple, looking like the strong ones. Kind of stick with them. Like, get away from the things that aren't going the way you want and stick with the ones that are. I think it's a pretty simple story here. So VWAP looking pretty good here on Tesla, continuing to hold. If we lose it, yeah, if you lose it, well, I'm already out of that one, and then back in the 38 long. So the VWAP long was off the number. I'll go to 1-minute chart so you guys can see this better. Because on a 3-minute chart, you can't really tell everything that happened. So when you get down into VWAP, we got the VWAP bounce, scalp out, and then I bought the dip again at the previous level of support before the number came out. So it's kind of like, we had 2 longs early, then this long scalp, then into VWAP, and then that one. So we're just taking our shots, buying the dips where we can find them. So Apple, Tesla, still looking good. AMD looks sick. And not like sick like good, like actually mean it looks sick. The AMD could be a problem if it loses this double bottom. So it's broken 163 twice and held 162.8. So it's got support down here again. But if it can't hold on to it, I have a line drawn and I'm not dip buying it, and it's working to VWAP every single time. But I'm not dip buying it because it's really, really weak. I'd rather be long strong stocks, short weak stocks. If it loses the bid, I'm going short on a break of 162.80, and I'll probably just give it like a quarter and see what happens. Because it's 10 o'clock, right? So the first half an hour has given us kind of what we wanted. Now might look for a little something else.
Yeah, that dip was absolutely crazy on the number. Comes right into VWAP and then aggressively bought right back up there. So yeah, very, very distinct, I guess, action there. Some players maybe showing their hand, or maybe some sentiment there, but definitely got bought right back up back into trend as well. And take a look at the futures. Got to keep an eye on the futures as well while trading some of these names here. Strong betas nonetheless, so it is kind of chopping. Like I said, that consolidation in the pre-market is potentially going to cause a little bit of concern for both longs and shorts, and concern it is causing with this volatility happening as of right now. So that 238 holding very well. That dip was all the way down to VWAP. What an entry, but it came right back almost instantly after that bid caught back on. So I'm asking myself the same question. If the bid is real, where will it catch? Apparently it's VWAP right here, consolidating underneath these pre-market highs at 340s as of right now. Just on the edge of 239 as of right now, so I do have to stay a little bit wary on this one. Holding the 8 EMA I have at 238.60s. We're holding that as of right now as well. And like I said before, when it's getting pushed down into the bid, it's getting a little bit more, like it's thicker, but when it pops up into the ask, it's much, much lighter. So I don't know what that means.
The ask isn't even thick?
The ask is not that thick, but the bid is holding it up. So
okay.
Let's see. I'm not moving until I see a thick ask. So you know what I mean. Let's see if that shows up at 240 as of right now. Boom.
All I gotta say is yes. You're darn right. Yeah, I can whatever. I can say whatever I want.
When I move, you move.
When I move, you move.
Just like that.
Let's break 240. Let's just break 240, and then we can all party. It is what it is. I don't know that at 10 o'clock you want to add there. Buying the dip seems to be the better strategy when it comes to Tesla in here, but I don't want to ignore every other name. We can talk about Tesla. It's the one you want to trade the most. Like, it's the only trade that I think I have like 5 times already on Tesla. So just trying to pick those spots. But Nvidia is trending up. Nvidia could break out. And to think on a day like today, if you get one shot at Nvidia, it could just be like, even if it just breaks this top and you do a quick little scalp trade on a break, that could be it. Wow, Tesla, 250, check that, 350, 400,000 on the offer of Tesla. Whatever, it's gone.
They take them.
Trust me, bro. There was a lot of size on that offer, and now it's gone, and it's been filled. Let's go, Tesla.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy, oh, boy. Here are the 240s. So I said I had, I guess, 241 as a bit of a resistance, 241 halves when I'm looking at multi-time frame levels on a much higher time frame here. So we did break that pre-market 1 hour consolidation high up at the 240. So let's see how much trouble we kind of have in and around here. But you know what? I gotta start kind of looking at some of these reasons to sell, reasons to exit. I'm not seeing too many as of right now, but we talked about a thick ask, and oh boy, was that a thick ask, and we just slapped it right up and pushing through that 240 as of right now. Can you print the quarters? Can you print the quarters? 240 quarters is what I'm looking for. I have no idea, but a lot of volume churning in and around this 240. You know what? I'm out. Yeah.
Oh, you had the same stop I did.
Yeah.
Well, the previous top. The previous high was the out. So you just come right in here. I didn't think it would be the same thing, but it was. Right in here, the previous top, if it failed that, jump out, look for one more trade. Apple also just pulled back with the market coming in. So Apple did lose that support. Oh, AMD just broke the low. So Apple lost its support. Looks like the range was just 220.80 out into 221. AMD just broke that 162.80 level. So there's not a heck of a lot. I mean, there's not that much time left. Obviously, you have like an hour for us, but remember, it's only a couple of hours left in the day. Well, 3 hours. But there's the breakdown in AMD, relatively weak name. I don't know where the bottom's going to be, but 161 was a pretty key level. So if we get down to that, let's just try to respect it here. First stop would be the 162 on advanced micro devices. The whole time, it's been the 6 stock. And I mean like that in the bad way. Like AMD's been relative weak the entire way. So now we're into the short. Tesla still could give you something.
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
There's no question. We've said this before. Sometimes the second break is better than the first. So there's always 100%. A chance this isn't really done yet. It just wicked everybody out. So you want to look for that maybe continuation play here in Tesla to try and jump back into it. Adara?
Shopify just got a big volume candle to the downside here. Its largest candle by far on the day for SHOP. Seeing this circulating here that this hacker 888 allegedly is selling data belonging to Shopify. Some of the compromised data includes ID, first and last names, email, mobile information. So definitely keep an eye on this Shopify move here with regards to that hack being circulated online, SHOP, guys.
All right, thank you.
That doesn't seem very good for Shop. You do want to, like, if there's going to be news on something, oh, there's Tesla.
Boom.
Just made the next break on Tesla. It just continues to rally. It's absolutely wild there. I don't watch. AMD just came right back into the upside. I got to ask, reload 63 or not? But Tesla's secondary break in here. I hope you got it. Did you get it?
Yeah, I got back in on top of 40, and I kind of added a little erratically as well. But yeah, let's see that 241 coming right back in. So yeah, I did. I guess I got out of everything there a little too aggressive, but I do have to calm down there. And I did realize here's that 241
wow,
and change
it just broke
coming right in. So can we print the quarters? That half is the level that I have marked as a bit of a resistance area here as of right now. So okay, so don't have as much as I built into before because I bought any and every price in the morning session here. But 241 halves coming in right now. I got a 240 and a half average right now. So it's coming right into that prior resistance level that I have marked on a higher time frame there. So let's see what we do in and around here. Absolutely squeeze-like characteristics on this ticker today. We gotta love those mid prints, man.
Yeah, it's an absolute squeeze. I didn't get that dip. I know that 240 that came in again, it's a great look to get in. And then the next available trade was a 241 breakout. So we're back to, like, the first 2 trades were breakouts for me, and then we went dip buy hunting. If it does one more off this 241.5, maybe back into here, like 240 and a half. It's still heading vastly to the upside. And look at the hammer candle. I was right about to add to AMD if it broke down. I was real close, and then it didn't break down, and it broke 163 back up. So we had one short that we liked on a chip name, and it's right back up. I think you just got to stick with the longs in there. Although Apple's still pulling back, so I'm not jumping back over to Apple. Just stick with Tesla, which is in some ways just as good as yesterday, even though percentage-wise it's not moving as much as yesterday. In some ways, it's just as good, if not better, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. So I got out on the push. So we printed 241.60s. Again, maybe the line on my chart is giving me a little bit of bias here. But you know what? If there is one thing that I do trust, it's price action and the chart, and also my own charting. So I'm going to kind of stick with that for now. We are pulling back quite well back into 241s. Again, if this continues to go, Neil, this can keep on going. Yeah, tanking there on Apple. Let's take a quick look at some of these other names here as well. It's coming into about 10:30 almost. But oh boy, you know what? Talk about decision making, not making the best decisions, punching out of everything on the re-break through that 240. But I did like that I got back involved, with much less significant size. At the 240 re-break when it did break back through that 240. But again, something I do have to remember is that 1 hour consolidation was in between that 238 and that 240. So I got to remind myself, can we expect some turbulence when we fly into that zone? Absolutely. It's an hour-long consolidation on a day 2 catalyst. So I'm like, all right, well, more likely than not, in my head, I'm like, yeah, you could expect some turbulence, and you have to be able to hold through that and stomach that. And yeah, maybe adding as aggressively. We can go down to the 1 minute here, as I'm pretty much out of this trade as of right now. Cost halted, eh? Okay, so it's back to the good old days there. I remember, was it Funware, Costs? What was the other one? Oh, yeah, the sympathy plays. But those used to be crazy there. Yeah, look at this. So I'm adding pretty aggressively, which might play a good part in why I got out of this so early. Like I bought these highs instead of buying these dips, right? If I maybe did not have some of these entries pushing up into 240, getting too excited, again, we talk about the high of the consolidation range, maybe having some trouble. I got to stay buying dips,
you know what it is?
And less breakouts.
Yes. Dips have been better than breakouts.
Yes.
That's the difference. Like, maybe throw it out, like early on, the breakouts on Tesla worked really, really well, and then but the dip buy was still better. But I'm looking at just now that 41 breakout. And it's like, would I still be in if I had gotten in here? I'd probably still be in. Whereas when I take a breakout, I'm getting out of the trade. And yeah, I acknowledge costs. Again, for these kind of trades, I was like, if it doesn't work right away in a holiday shortened day, I just want to get out of it. But we tried costs in front of 6. It ended up breaking itself out. It's halted at $8 or $7.97 with $8 as the current tap. So cost is going, it's social media hype at this point. But Tesla, just every single long, you could have held them all.
Yep.
Taking profit on the way up, and the last ad, sometimes you anchor yourself to that entry price. That's what happens with breakouts. You get that anchor, and all of a sudden it can get you out of the trade maybe a bit too early. But Tesla still going. It's only 10:15. This has been just as good as yesterday, in some ways better. But remember Apple? Apple was a strong stock too. Not anymore. Back underneath that 220. The problem with Apple here is now you have the look of a potential all-time high fail. So it's back underneath the all-time high, back underneath yesterday's tops. If it doesn't reclaim it, Apple could be the other way. But Tesla ain't. Tesla's very strong. And shout out to NIO, Neo. Where's Neo Roberts in the chat? Neo, you got to be in the chat the day that Neo's actually going. There it is, 480. This stock is also making a power move here. Don't take the break of 242. Wait for the
242, 500 lots.
Wait for the dip. That's not that much size. The size
No,
you
it's
saw the
not.
size that was on the 40
Yeah,
level.
the 240 makes sense to have that much size. Again, that the whole consolidation business going on in the pre-market there. But 500 lots as of right now on that 242. Oh boy, I got to do better at this, man. I got to do way better at this. This is absolutely disgusting right here. Like, what's going on? I'm buying the highs, not buying the dips, not getting enough on the dips, reloading, playing that break. Why? Don't do that. Look for, like, it's 240. Look for the pushback and then look to get long. Like, take the trade for what it is, man. Don't trade your P&L. This is me talking to myself here. I am definitely, these kind of executions is literally telling me that I am playing my P&L. Right? I have my P&L up on the side. I'm like, okay, I usually don't do that. So it is the mental is definitely skewed a little bit there, and I have to be risking a lot more on this trade. Again, A+ setup from yesterday continuing today could be so good. Again, deliveries that this isn't even a pretty decent swing trade. We know that Brian Shannon was talking about his swing on Tesla over the past few weeks as well.
It was that kind of a swing.
Absolutely.
It's not even a good baseball graphic. Terrible form. I don't know why I'm making a stink face in it. Like, look at my face there. Like, I'm very unhappy. Like, it looks like I need to take a crap on that. We need some better graphics. I like the baseball one. Tesla through 242.
242s, yeah.
Barry, is Tesla 240 a
Next
shortable
trade.
level for you? Nope. I mean, no. $260? Yeah. It's not going to get there.
I said potential for 250 today. That's well within.
Yeah, now 250 is well within range. No, in a serious note.
Seriously.
On a serious note, we talked about this with Brian Shannon. Like, where would if you have like the downward trending slope on the 200 period, then you expect some kind of a curl that doesn't break out the next big resistance. That's at 260. So on those lines, if it gets to 260, it's not getting to 260 today, but that would be the area that I would start looking for sure. I think 250 is like a scalp idea if you want to just play off a gigantic size, because there will be, my goodness, 243. So the FOMO is real now because we bungled the last entry into Tesla, and I know exactly why. Sometimes you get anchored to like taking that top and looking for that dip buy, and you don't get the dip buy. And we didn't retake that break. So let's go to Adair at the desk, regroup. Maybe we get another dip here in Tesla. Party maybe not over. It is 10:20. Let's go to the desk.
Just be aware here if you're looking at Meta, CEO Mark Zuckerberg making some comments about Threads. We're actually approaching the 1-year anniversary of the introduction of Threads on July 5th, 2024. That'll be the 1-year anniversary. But ahead of that, Mark Zuckerberg saying that Threads has achieved more than 175 million monthly active users. So just keep an eye on Meta, META, Mark Zuckerberg making some comments about its Threads users ahead of its 1-year anniversary, guys.
Was the place to really like hammer into it, like.
We're just discussing the trade review, right? Because I'm looking back and it's like, that last Tesla long, it's like you lose on that trade when really you got to have the big win. Like it's actually bigger than anything before. Like that's the best. The 41, or that dip off the 41 was actually outside of the VWAP trade, maybe even the best. What the heck is cost doing? I might take one shot at this at like 10. No, never mind. Why did I think $10 on cost? I got to pull up a weekly. Maybe it's already pulling back. Doesn't matter. Cost could actually halt down if it breaks $8, but it just reopened, pressed 9s, and pulled back into 8. I got to double check that I even pay for locates today because paying for them at this point, you really got to have some kind of a setup, and we might be going into a down halt. But I'm going to go ahead and at least cost them out the locates here on cost. That's a bit of a mouthful.
Yeah, no, not Amazon. Tesla is still going here. 243.60s, 244s potentially coming in. Oh boy indeed. But you know what? No regrets. What is the next trade is what I'm thinking about, and potentially this euphoric action to the upside. Am I smelling a bit of a reversion, Neil?
On what? Oh, the market?
On the Tesla. On the Tesla, of course. Like, yeah, sure, run up without me. That's fine.
Here's
That's okay.
the question
Do it.
I would ask.
I made mistakes. I botched that up a little bit.
Do you want to go short Tesla?
On the backside of this move, after seeing some of those thick orders, yes, for sure. I definitely do. But it is 100% the front side as of right now. So
yeah, it's still strong.
Oof.
Oh, really? So cost locates are essentially free, so I'm just going to go ahead and pay for them. I might not short cost today, but I'm 100% paying 1/3 of 1 cent per share are the locates here for us at Real Trading on cost. Shout out to Real Trading. I know some people can't short the stock at all, but we might have missed our chance, but if it gives us another shot and sets up, we'll go ahead and take it. I have to confirm, but we're headed to the desk to talk about the small caps, where I can only imagine cost is one of them.
Cost actually not on here. We have some other names I wanted to give the spotlight to as well, but KOSS, of course, very strong. IWM here just starting to come down a little bit. Looks like it might have hit its peak, still up about 0.5% here, though, so good look for the Russell 2000. Lots of names to talk about. We have Desktop Metal here. This one up about 15%, a short float of about 16% here. Getting acquired by Nano Dimension in an all-cash transaction, $5.50 a share, so keep an eye on DM. We also have here ZAPP Zap. This is an EV company. This one up about 33%. No news on this, but just continued upside movement. This one has run in the past. We also do have a float of about 1.6 million shares. And last but not least, we have Archer Aviation, ACHR. This one is another runner that's run in the past, currently up about 11%. Yesterday, Stellantis announced $55 million of additional investment into Archer after they reached a test flight milestone. This one also has a short float of about 17%. So ACHR, guys.
So I found a little something here. Polestar, it's back. It's at 97 again. We've been here once, twice, thrice. I was into it off 92, giving it to this local high, and I was very close to just getting all in there. Ended up not. We'll just stop it out there and wait for that level. Keep it tight to the vest. Tesla really is pulling back. Hey, if you shorted it, that was the chance.
Yeah.
But I don't mind. Like I said, if I lost today, if it was going to be red, it was going to be because Tesla long didn't work. That was kind of the way I was approaching things. And Polestar is at the level. If we fail this breakout and don't get to $1, I want to look for the back end of that trade to the south side. But Tesla, okay, we got to go to 3. There we go. Yeah. Tesla, there is a pretty distinct turn. So I guess that was your chance to short it. I'm not in it. But if anyone's short, congratulations to them. My eyes are set on this Polestar level, PSNY. It's 10.20. I'd rather jump into something that, it's exactly where I wanted to make a trade early in the day, and it was part of my plan. So it's at the level. I just want to see a curl. It double top 2 days ago. It wicked this breakout and quick little fail. I got to have eyeballs on the dollar level as well. There's not a lot of size at 98, so I think it might just be the dollar level. And what I like about this is look at the volume going into this dollar. Nowhere near. I know it's a holiday shortened day, but it's much less volume going into this break than yesterday, and obviously much less than 2 days ago here.
Yeah, I'm just kind of, again, staring at the most beautiful thing in the market right now. Definitely Tesla on this crazy move to the upside there. But yeah, let us know if you have anything else on watch. Again, it's a shortened day today, so not too many opportunities to go around, but opportunities for sure. Again, some of the names we were watching. Oh boy, look at Amazon. Amazon's pulling in quite nicely there. I was looking for a potential reversion. Yeah, 200 fail, right? So over and over again, we've attempted that 200 and haven't really gone too far back. So something I'm looking for on Tesla is like every strong dip has been bought back up. This dip that we got off of that 245 test, this is the first actual aggressive drop down into the bid, other than the one we had off of the number at what was it? Right at 9? Was it 9:45? No, it was 10. Yeah, at the 10 o'clock number right there, we got a strong little dip, and that was bought right back up off of VWAP there. So what I'm looking for now is a distinctly different, I guess, a distinct change in behavior where the dips don't get bought as much. We were talking about the viscosity of the flow there, and it seems like the bid is getting a little I guess a little less viscous here as of right now, but again, it can pick right back up, and those participants, the players, the cumulative bid can take us back up through some of those highs there. So I'm going to be looking for a distinctly different behavior there. Apple with the fresh lows of day. So let's take a quick look at that one. I'm going to pull that one up. And that consolidation end of day we were looking at on Apple here, prior day low, consolidation lows right at that 218. That's where that bid caught up. Apple was hella strong yesterday, and we are pulling back up a little bit of a wick dance off of all-time highs, right? 220, 140s now are all-time highs. So we only got about 1 point above prior day's highs. Exactly 1 point, it would seem, as I think, what was it, 41 or something was the intraday high, I think. So yeah, today's high is 2140. Yesterday it was 2040. So only about a point on Apple. Now again, we take a look at the ATR on Apple, and I know it's somewhere in and around 3 points the last time I checked, but let's take a quick refresher. Okay, you know what? I guess I checked a long time ago. It's 477 as of right now. 4.77 is the ATR on Apple. Here comes a bit of a pullback on Tesla. Oh boy, what's going on, Adara?
I'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors at Benzinga. Have you ever wondered how those pros find the winning trades right at the opening bell? Most of us are scrambling to find headlines, finding ourselves way behind the move. But that's where Benzinga Pro comes in. It's the fastest way to trade the news with exclusive alerts up to 30 minutes before other traders, real-time market insights, and a thriving community of over 6,000 traders sharing their strategies. And right now, you can try Benzinga Pro for the lowest price we offer during our July 4th sale. Use the QR code on this screen or click the link in the description box and join Benzinga Pro today.
Thank you very much there, Adara. So a few things just lost a bit of a bid here. I got eyeballs on AMD again, but Nvidia just lost support at VWAP. It's trading down, now down 0.76%. You got a big hammer candle in there to the downside. AMD retracing for another attempt at this flat bottom break. We had the low break, but it got back above 163. I was looking for the absolute flush down. In that situation, yeah, we could have scalped it for like 25 cents, but we're looking for a big flush there. Could do the same thing again. I know some people are looking at costs. I did jump into PSNY, tag 98, yesterday's high resistance level, and pull back under. I do have 97 quarters, not 97 even. Our penny stocks, they don't really give you more than a couple of decimal places. But good look here for the market dipping. And you know what? Tesla already catching a bid. It doesn't even want to give you the previous breakout, which would be like 241.50-ish. It just wants to hold even a higher low. So Tesla still holding relative strength despite the fact that it came in there. Oh, Nikola, I forgot all about Nikola. That just made a bit of a dip.
God, look at that rebid.
That's not, what the heck happened to Nikola? That's like a gap down on Nikola. What's going on there? Yeah, Nikola with a big rejection at that same $9 level. I'm into, obviously, Polestar, but this was the other one. Kind of tried to get through yesterday's high. Well, we picked our poison. I don't know if I want to pay for Nikola shorts at 10:30, but it looks like that $9 level pretty good.
Yeah, that aggressive bid on Tesla. I'm just watching it. I'm like, okay, well, we're down at 242s and some change, 243s, and then instantly, maybe not that instantly, but definitely with a quick fashion into the ask there, we pushed right back up towards those highs, 244s, 245. I guess no, not even 245. We never printed 245. 244.69 is the high on Tesla, and we're right back up into the 244. So it seems like that is not all that she wrote as of right now on Tesla. 245s could very easily come in. It is 10:30 right now, Neil, and the action is definitely packed here, and Tesla is fully charged to the upside as of right now. Let's see if we can see some of that 245. I'm looking for 250. I don't think, I was like, maybe not today, maybe today. It depends on what we do. But with this kind of action and with a significant chunk of the trading day left, I saw somebody in the chat was like, low liquidity day. Definitely,
Low
definitely,
liquidity
yeah.
Ds.
Yeah.
Well, can I say that?
What's that?
I can say that.
These?
Low liquidity Ds. I mean, it doesn't matter. Historically, I can tell you this is an absolute fact. At least for this trading floor and in day trading specifically. The half days are good trading days. What makes them distinct is you'll have like, it's either really, really good, like a day like today where you just find one stock that goes and it's just crazy and the moves are sustained. You take your paper cuts, but you get that one big winner over and over. Or nothing's moving and you back off and don't trade anything. So when there's nothing there, you don't trade it. But when there is something on these half days, it can be absolutely spectacular. Obviously, you're defying a lot of expectations as evidenced by this chart and not having anything the back half of this move. 45, I'm not taking breaks at 10:30. Someone asked, what is power hour today? The market closes at 1. The final hour is obviously going to be noon to 1. I would expect not a lot of volume into the close. Focus on Tesla and finding ways to get into Tesla is probably the way to go here. It is what it is. But let's go to the desk. Let's get that crypto update. Oh my God.
Here, as we wait for these potential Ethereum ETF approval, there's actually this note coming out from K33 Research. They are crypto-related research firm saying that they actually believe Ethereum will outperform Bitcoin after the ETF's launch. It'll drop a little bit, but then the inflows, like what we saw with those Bitcoin and the BTC ETF inflows, will actually lead Ethereum to outperform Bitcoin. So interesting note there with regards to potential outperformance of Ethereum should we get those ETH approvals. Are specifically looking at this for some time in summer 2024. In terms of Bitcoin itself coming into a very interesting area here, we've seen a lot of support. Quite a few times here we touched support at 60,000 on the daily chart. Right now, we're just trying to hold into the 60,000 area on the daily, looking a little bit closer to 60 right now, about 60.3. So they'll have to keep an eye on BTC for sure as we get to this critical area on the daily. Ethereum down about 3% as well here, just holding on to that 3,300 level. BNB down about 3%, Solana down almost 4%. Lots of weakness across the board here. A couple exceptions, USDC pretty flat. Tron slightly positive on the day, but generally a bit of a sell-off across the board here for crypto-related names, guys.
246 just came on the offer, and 240, it went to 245.99, saw the offer, and slammed back into 45. If you're looking for a curl, that might have been it. I'm going to go over to Rivian's weaker. Rivian was in the midst of a breakout and then lost it. So I kind of feel like go for the short ones, go for the weak names. I am in already Polestar, but that's not really doing much. It's still that Tesla holding 245 for now, but that looks like a bit of a hammer. If Tesla goes, everything goes. Everything could go. I don't want to speak into absolute certainties, but Tesla could bring a lot of things downside. Just tracking back in for anybody, costs running right back into that top. So here comes cost trying to break out the high. If it breaks $9, might be a quick little scalp short for me. I'm only in Polestar, and I'm basically staring at cost, Tesla, and Polestar with a side note of AMD, which AMD doesn't want to break the low again, so I might not get into AMD at all. It's 10:30. You want to be particular. We said hit it and quit it. That is one of the things that works. on a day like today, but you still have good movement in cost and Tesla 100%, guys.
Yeah, I'm again watching Tesla. I'm looking at Dell as well. Dell doing a little bit of a reversion to VWAP as of right now. I'm a little bit late to it. It's already 2 points off of the low, above 2 points off the low right now, pushing towards that 145 mark here. Let's kind of, you can talk about, I'll pull the chart in right here. So yeah, so this is what I'm talking about. Strong sell off of the open there. Kind of holds prior day. Look at that. Oh boy, I got to be watching these. Even there's a lot of opportunity here that I am definitely missing out on. Bouncing off of prior day highs, Dell on a beautiful reversion. It's doing some RVOL as well. It's doing 3.8 RVOL, but that reversion is coming in quite nice there. VWAP only about 70, 60 pennies away from where we are right now, but that reversion coming in quite nice. But yeah, what's the next trade? Maybe Dell, but I'm waiting for this Tesla to show me some distinct difference here. So maybe we can get on the backside if it'll even kind of give that to us. I have no idea, right? This is hella strong on the day. Every dip, what I was talking about, I want to see the dips stop getting bought up. We dip the heaviest and then we get bought up just as aggressively back through these highs there. Now we talk about that for that 250. We're only about 5 points away with more than I guess more than 3.5 hours left in the trading day before the bell. Now today, what's the after hours like? Does the after hours go till 6 or 4 or something on a half day? I'm forgetting what it's like.
I gotta confess that the last time we were asked this question, we had to look it up because. Yeah. I'll be real with you. I don't know anybody that's interested in the after hours on the half day, so I've never really stuck around for it or been that involved. The aftermarket show will go on as normal, but not from a trading basis. I know like you'll get like the GMEs and the games, like the squeeze names will have aftermarket volume on a regular day. Today, it's going to be about going over the trade review, not necessarily looking for trading moves, I don't think. So we'll check that out. We'll get you guys an answer, but I've been trading 20 years. And every time someone asks us that, I'm like, oh yeah, is the aftermarket hours the same for the primary trading? I can tell you we're starting to, some things are really starting to dip, and I want to get to them. One, Chewy lost $25 and is flushing in here once again. So it might not be over for the sell event after Roaring Kitty. Still trending down. There isn't even a green candle on the daily chart since he announced. And today, the pop and fade is once again working. PSNY, I'm on the bid at VWAP at 95, but there's nothing else really happening except the market pulling back in here. Amazon on that failed break again of $200. So tried to break out that high, failed break. It's all red candles trying to make a little bit of a bounce. It'll be the first green candle since plunging at the open for Amazon on a 15-minute. It is trend into the downside. People have said, like, why not short? How many times have we seen in the chat people want to try testing Tesla? No, like it's still, they're buying it all back up there. I don't like a chase at 1030. I think that was a reasonable chance maybe to get the 43s. I just can't bring myself to chase it. I'm not going to go short. As I said, PSNY was already at a level that we liked from yesterday. There we go. So PSNY, I'll just zoom it out. We had this short to there. It then wicked this high. It did it twice. You can go back 2 days as well. Same high. Goes right up to the 98 level again. I get some 98 quarters. I get some just underneath 97. So my price is pretty much, it's just slightly above 97. Going to bid VWAP and then every penny down till it gets to 92 cents here. But Tesla just holding the entire day up as we speak.
245s coming back in. So yeah, that was high a day right now, 245.99s. And I missed it, but Neil pointed out that there was some peculiar action right underneath that 246. We're bidding right back up, so no real relief, no real kind of I guess reasons to exit on this Tesla move as of right now. We're holding prior bars on multiple time frames depending on what you're looking at. The 5 minutes holding well. I like to take a look at the 3, but I will have to admit I moved down to the 2 a little bit with the aggressive action that was happening. Maybe that's a flaw in my process as well. I'm being unable to capture the full extent of this move here. But yeah, no, if we kind of start to go sideways here and chop, we saw how a strong Tesla behaves yesterday, where it kind of holds that consolidation all day sideways in the upper quartile. Are we looking for more of the same? Is this a multi-day move? Because day one was hella strong. Day 2, we've done multiples of ATR as of right now, pushing up towards these highs, and we're doing an R-vol here. I have a 5-day R-vol for a bar by bar here, and we're averaging in and around 1.7 as of right now, but the R-vol has been dropping down. But to say the least, here comes that 246. So we're still trending up. The bid is still on. Look at the market getting bought right back up. So there it goes, 246s, Neil.
Wow.
Here we go, blasting through for some fresh highs once again on Tesla. Who is in this trade? I saw that Chef Joe in the chat, just scrolling back a little bit there. He said that he has an average, I think it was 138 and change on Tesla in his long term. Congratulations, my guy. That is absolutely wild. Great average, solid entries. Underneath, 238, that was the dip. You bought the dip. You bought the earlier dip this year. I don't even think that was down to 238. That was probably even before that. But solid price. Congrats on that, dude. Tesla pushing for that 250, so you are over 100 points in the money. Hopefully you got some options on that as well, collecting that nice premium along the way. But
sweet, juicy premium.
Yeah, we're gonna pass it over to Adara for Sector Watch.
Market pretty flat today for both the NQ and the SPY, and we're basically seeing that reflected here in the sector map. There are certain sectors with some outsized strength here. Producer manufacturing pretty strong. Consumer services, there is some strength. Energy minerals, XOM leading this group to the upside. Of course, consumer durables with this 3-day now Tesla rally, more than 5% each day. So great look for TSLA. Utilities, commercial services, transportation, all pretty strong here as well. A little bit weaker here for health services to the downside. Communications a bit weak as well. We had some downgrades in this sector from Citigroup this morning. Finances and health technology, both a little bit more mixed. Of course, in the technology sector, we're also going to see a little bit more of some mixed action, especially in these chips here in electronic technology. Broadcom and Qualcomm both pretty strong today. AMD weak, so a lot of inconsistency within the sectors, but there are some sectors we're looking for outsized strength in producer manufacturing, consumer services, guys.
Thank you, Adara.
Thank you, Adara. Just quickly, Disney's making a power move. I know everyone's looking at Tesla, and rightfully so. 247. Are you kidding me? Disney's tracking towards 100 again at that 99 level. I would probably say 100's a fade if you get there today. Cost just made a fresh high as well. I did get VWAP at 95 on PSNY. My last ad was 96.44, so we're out of our 97.5s. We're out of our 96.8s. We're only in the 96.44s of that short. But there's cost blowing through 9 again, making some fresh highs. It just continues to run. This is another FOMO one for me. Maybe it does a curl at that $10 level, but you know, eyeballs are going to be on Tesla 1 in this 250 level. Oh my goodness, Tesla. Wow, Tesla.
All the way up.
Nothing can
All the
stop.
way up. Can't stop, won't stop.
Oh no, we don't want to do Diddy references, man. Somebody should have stopped him. That's for damn sure.
Okay. What's going on? Oh, is that what's going on with costs?
Y'all saw what happened with Chewy?
Back on it.
This is
Let's go over to Sharif's screen. Yeah. Cost Corp is ripping higher as Roaring Kitty speculation mounts. Did he tweet again?
Dump it. I don't know where the short is, but you saw what, like the moment he said he had a stake, that we knew what the stake was in Chewy, it's been down like 5 days in a row, man. Cost is gonna, that's not the catalyst.
Oh, what is that? What is that? Don't
I
do
paid
that.
for locates. I don't know, what is, that's an interesting ringtone you
No,
got
it's
there.
not a ringtone. I went on Twitter and some random thing started playing.
That was the ringtone?
No, it wasn't. It was not a ringtone.
First of all, it's X.
Sorry.
On a day where Tesla's up 7%, the least we could do for Elon is call it X, at least today.
A lot of my ringtones and my alarms are straight up Weekend songs.
You could have, what, it doesn't matter.
You listen to The Weeknd?
No, The Weeknd's great.
Oh, he's beautiful.
Cost
That
was
voice.
the second
God.
Sharif just said that, that Roaring Kitty news. Look at it. It wicked the top. There's 9. Didn't get 9, and it's already starting to pull in. I think this is a short, but that's just based on what happened to Chewy. I got to look for a better entry on this. I'm not going to chase the move down. But Chewy, just to give you an idea, Roaring Kitty says yay. Stock says nay. And I have nothing against Keith Gill. It's just, look, you can see the price action for yourself. So if you guys want to get trapped in this one long, it's still an upward trend. But if that's the only catalyst, I want to look for something back into VWAP. I got to try to short the next pop. If it fails 9 one more time, I got to be able to get in.
Yeah, yeah. So that 248 coming in here. Yeah, I definitely sold way too early there. 8 points too early. So yeah, getting a little bit a skosh of FOMO here as we test.
Just a skosh.
Just a skosh. But again, I gotta protect my mental. I'm asking myself, what's the next trade? I guess the next trade was continuing to buy dips on the
Nvidia
Tesla
breakout,
as
maybe?
we're only look at the market.
Nvidia's
Oh boy,
breaking out.
20,300 coming in once again. Nvidia breaking out. What are you doing with Nvidia there, Neil? Tesla's still going, man. I can't. I have no words.
Well, with any luck winning, that would be the general plan of action on Nvidia. But Nvidia just broke 123. Well, it's been kind of a level recently. Nvidia just absolutely screaming. You know what? It's the time of day. What am I? Yeah.
123,
to not
right?
scalp the first move. It's 1044, but remember, it's 1044 on a half day here. So getting a breakout, we got to go really tight stop on this, and then maybe look for some dip buys after. But Nvidia is breaking out, local high, double top, 123.40 is an out. Or maybe it's an ad through that level. But I am going to start nibbling into cost. That's the other thing. Maybe cost is going to still go, but I just like my whole thesis on cost is if that's the reason we've been hunting for a reason cost was up all morning long, and if it's just that Roaring Kitty has interest in it, I don't see why that would be enough, especially given the reaction to Chewy. So if it makes a fresh high after getting that news, I'm out of it. I did get a little bit in, only took about a third of what I wanted here at 9 originally because I wanted to see a fail back up at this level. I want to see it do something like this again, and then I can get the rest in on cost. So Nvidia is the only new trade. We're still in Polestar. It got down to 40.94s, a bit of a bounce here on Polestar. But eyes now on cost and Nvidia, in addition to the king. And the king today is Tesla. Ooh, Tesla with a red candle. Look at that. Tesla is allowed to have red candles today, apparently.
Yeah. You can get away, after printing so much green, you can get away with a little bit of red. That's fine. I'm looking for all the red, but again, it may not come here. I do have, what's going on here? Jeff Bezos discloses the sale of $5 billion in Amazon shares. Okay, all right. Making a quick little
rich.
5. He's like, I got 5 on it. Right, and he just drops a piece there. Maybe that's why we've been seeing a little bit of muted selling relative on Amazon relative to the other names here. So I kind of we are at the lows here on Amazon, and the market is attempting to rip to its highs. So Amazon with that relative weakness potentially coming in here. So I gotta pull it up on another chart. 247 still holding here on Tesla. So I gotta be wary of that. I do want to take a piece of the backside if it'll have me, but VWAP all the way
Just
down.
take a bite out of that backside.
Oh yeah, definitely gotta take some bites. Gotta leave some teeth marks in there, but VWAP all the way down at 240s. What's going on in there?
DJT here near highs of day is getting stronger volume. The New York Times reporting that apparently President Biden told a key ally he's unsure if he's going to continue in the race. So good look for DJT, Trump Media and Technologies, with regards to that news coming in here, guys.
DJT
making some moves to the upside. Nvidia does take out yesterday's high, so let's zoom it out so you can see. Yeah, if it gets to 125, that's an obvious out, so I'm literally just gonna rest an order there, and if we get there, I'm out. But there's the local breakout at 123.40. That should have been an ad. It really should have been an ad there. Sometimes when you get to a level like that, it's like that's your chance to jump in. So 124, there's no point having an order there. 124, we got to make a decision. A 123 breakout fails at 124, then we got to be able to jump out of it. So Amazon, not that interested in Bezos selling shares. Yeah, no. Hey, guess what? They make money when they got to take profit somewhere, and he's probably decided, oh, cost just made a fresh high, we got to jump out. So cost just made a fresh high. I didn't think it was going to, but it did. Cost just broke out again.
Wow, Nvidia is still going.
And Nvidia is still going. If it fails 124,
Nice
I guess we
entry.
maybe
That
go
one-
for the dip. But cost just made a fresh high. I don't believe it, so I'm probably still going to only look short that name. But I'm not going to let it make new highs on me. Never going to do that at all. Delov, not really looking at the nickel short. Really just sort of sticking with that PSNY for now. And what is it? 250. So 250,000 on the offer of Nvidia. That shouldn't be a problem if it wants it. But if it's a fail break, I jump out and look for another dip. Market at highs, Nvidia at highs, Tesla almost at highs, probably a few other things as well.
Yeah, it's market is blasting up. That 123 entry, Neil, absolutely beautiful. We've been talking about what that 123 has behaved like over the past couple of weeks, and right back through it. I think that's an absolutely beautiful entry here. Tesla taking a little bit of a curl here back into the 8 EMA I have on my chart. Okay, I got the 2-minute up. Let me go to my. I like my trusty 3-minute here. So 3-minute a little bit lower there. Gives a bit of a wider range here. So 245.95. Let's see if any of the boys kind of come in, or girls. Come in right at that level here. 245.80s right there, snaps right into that level. High a day as of right now, 248.35. Yeah, let's see if we do a sideways consolidation, or we do a reversion, or we continue up. Stocks can only go one of 3 ways: up, down, or sideways. And even when they're going sideways, they're either going up or down as well. So, you know, we can't go backwards, right? Right, Neil? We can't go backwards unless you're going really fast. Maybe if I'm punching the keys at 88 miles per hour.
I was about to say, but you need a flux capacitor for that.
I mean, I think it's somewhere in here.
If you don't have the flux capacitor,
somewhere in there.
Then you need the 1.20. You got to get that 1.21 gigawatts of power, and then you got to have the flux capacitor operating properly. Then you hit 88 miles an hour. You can go back in time, and we can all dip by a Tesla at the bottom of that channel.
140 is like Chef Joe.
I didn't. You know what? I bought 151 because Bacardi and 150, and it was the bottom of that.
Oh, Bacardi 150. Have you ever set that on fire?
Huh? Why would I waste? No. Why would you do that?
Fancy.
No. I don't. No, you don't waste.
Flaming Lamborghinis. I know they don't use that for that, but
no, I don't. I'm not wasteful. I'm kind of cheap like that. I'm not wasting. No. Just leave it at that. Let's go to. We're going to Adara. It is Money Talks. You don't burn it, you drink it.
Yeah, of course.
DXY continuing its now 5-day losing streak on the daily chart. Big candle to the downside here. Just holding on to 105s right now. Lowest level we've been at since it looks like late June. So bit of a pull down here for the DXY. A large cause of this seeming to be the ISM non-manufacturing PMI at a 4-year low, 48.8, much below the expectation of 52.6 and the prior number of 53.8. We got some other data coming through here as well, including month-over-month factory orders from May, lower than expected, negative 0.5 compared to the estimate of positive 0.2% and the prior number of positive 0.4%. So that number a bit lower as well. S&P Global Services PMI slightly higher than expected, 55.3 versus 55.1 expected, also higher than the prior number of 55.4.8. But the key number here definitely going to be this 4-year low for the ISM non-manufacturing data. Of course, in terms of, we got some employment data as well here. We had those jobless claims, and on Friday we're going to get non-farm payrolls. So even though we do have the holiday tomorrow, should be lots of excitement for the DXY and economic data on Friday, guys.
All right.
Yeah, we're going to bring the registers. Just get out. 124 doesn't hold on Nvidia, so it goes up to 124.20 and then pull right back in. So we got the breakout. It was a local break of 123. It's just going to sit out there in the middle. But you know what? We get anchored to even dollar numbers a lot because you're like, hey, 123 breaks, 125 breaks, 400, 500, 1,000, all those numbers. But really, like it was channeling up. You could have just taken the double top break and make an extra 30 cents on the trade. Just like, this is the local high. Take the breakout where it happens to be, not necessarily at the round number. It ends up working out either way, but you can always do a little better. There might be one more shot, like dipping back into yesterday's double top. That's 123.40. If we get back in there on Nvidia, that could be a dip spot, maybe another consolidation breakout. Tesla starting to be a little bit, I don't know, weak is the word? Is that right?
Sorry?
Tesla's getting a little bit weaker.
Yeah, it's like one of the stronger pullbacks here. But again, we talk about speed lines, we talk about trend acceleration and deceleration. So I have to kind of keep that in mind, be cognizant of all of those, attributes and characteristics of price action there. If the trend can be broken, but then the trend can also just be slowing. So if you guys know what speed lines are, kind of just again, you know what? We can just draw some on. Like what's something that's accelerated or decelerated? Let me pull up a chart here. We can talk about some speed lines real quick. I guess we can do some Tesla here. Sure. Let's throw up the hourly on Tesla. I got a lot of lines on my chart. Gotta kind of remove some of those there a little bit later. But maybe let's pick another one. I'd like Nvidia as well. We know Nvidia has been kind of changing in and around. So okay, this is perfect right here. So speed lines. What is a speed line? So it's like it's just a trend line, and then that trend line kind of either gets steeper or less steep. So here, if I can just, okay, all right. So, okay, cool. I have that one already marked off. So some significant lows off the breakout of earnings reaction or earnings day one there. And look at that. That's the overall trend. But you can see within the trend, there's another trend that kind of forms on the break of this structure right here off of this pullback. And look at that, a little bit of acceleration as the angle of that trend is a little bit faster. So you can accelerate, you can keep on accelerating until you almost go parabolic. You can even say that we shifted up a gear, and then we shifted up a gear even faster within an intraday there, even faster. And then look at that. Once that speed kind of starts to fall apart and the stock starts to hit the brakes, you can see the action that kind of comes in at those key levels. Again, that support turning into a potential resistance over and over again there. So those are kind of the speed lines there, talking about trend acceleration and deceleration. But I know people like to use moving averages as well. So you can be like, all right, well, it was holding the 8. Now it's pulling back into the 21. Now it's pulling back into the 50. And maybe it holds the 50 and continues on the 50, still within the bigger picture trend. So that's definitely a characteristic of price action that I do like to watch out for.
125.
125 broken.
Not yet.
Broken 125? Oh, 125 on Nvidia. I'm thinking Tesla. Yeah, Tesla breaking back
if
below.
If Tesla sees 125, it should be because it splits.
Yes.
If we see, that would be, we haven't had a good flash crash in a decade or so.
Oh boy.
But no, I joked. No, the flash crash was absolutely horrible. It was not fun at all for anybody. But here comes 125. We only got 4 minutes to go. Then it is a normal changeover to the Learn to Trade and the Midday. But remember, it's only on for an hour. Then we're right back. We'll be right back for one. Early close today, market close tomorrow. We'll get that last hour in. Nvidia, it almost feels like the money came out of Tesla and over to Nvidia, which is screaming. Again, I feel like it's Tesla all over again. The only thing similar about the long in Nvidia and the long in Tesla is out of both of them too early. Just didn't think we'd see this kind of continuation on the half day. It's been even bigger than you would have expected on a day like today. It's not a huge amount of size on the offer here, 400,000, maybe 500,000 shares on Nvidia at the 125 level. I almost want, I wanted to do a break, like it did the break and then dipped a little bit, so I'd look for like a break and dip as an entry instead of just a clean breakout at this time of day. But there goes 125 on Nvidia. So if you did take it, I don't know, like 10, 15 cents right away. Pelosi posted something. I heard nothing in my ear, but I'll go double check. And is that the reason Nvidia is going? Because Nancy Pelosi posted about it? Oh, that's too funny. That's too much. The Pelosi dip. The Pelosi rip dip? And all that good stuff. Oh, no, I don't know if that's true. You guys let me know. I'm just seeing people saying it in the chat. But I didn't hear anything in my ear. So if there is, you guys let us know. I'm just going to double check right now and actually look for the news.
Yeah, we're getting in like a little bit of an actual pullback here on Tesla. Couldn't really get up to that 250 as of right now. Amazon coming right back in as well. But take a look at the futures. Oh boy, are we breaking through some of those key levels there? 20,300 can't really push back down. Only roughly about 10 points down into 20,290, and then we rip right back up to make some fresh highs there. So what is leading this move, and it is none other than Nvidia. So Nvidia is breaking past weekly highs. So the week on Nvidia, the week chart on Nvidia, now remember, this is a shortened week, just went red to green above those prior day highs, just in and around, just underneath that 125 level. What is the Monday high? 124.84 is the high of day on Monday, which also coincides with the week high. And now we are trading at 125.50s. So we were a little red. We bounce off of that 120 area, and now we're getting an acceleration to the upside.
So Pelosi, Broadcom, Nvidia, Tesla. I don't know. I'm just seeing some stuff on Twitter. The Visa, Tesla, Nvidia, Broadcom for Nancy Pelosi. If that's true, the shorts are getting squoze here. It's now getting out of hand on Nvidia. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So apparently the Tesla bottom. Pelosi bottom is in. It's got some 93s out here on PSNY, which is the only position we're still in. We shorted 97s and 96s. I'm looking for a bottom here, 91s and 89s. If we get it, great. But all eyeballs on the strongest. It was Tesla all morning, and now it is, oh my goodness, Nvidia.
The baton has been passed.
The baton's been passed. You just got to look for a dip buy. Hey, the thing that happened in Tesla was every single dip, like when it went red for a bit, any consolidation was a buy, consolidation buy. I got out, mistake. Obviously, if you're still in Nvidia, great. We're going to hand it off in 30 seconds, but if it does any kind of a dip in consolidation, you take another shot at it and then go from there. So big mover. It's now all about Nvidia after all being all about Tesla. You just got to be able to go long and look for those longs. Unbelievable price action here today. Everyone talks about the half day being boring. You're darn right it ain't. No chance. Tesla, Nvidia, you didn't need much else. Costs did pull back after all, but it was flying earlier. So a good one, a great one. We'll be back. Obi and I are right back at 1 o'clock to take you into the close, do the market recap just like normal, myself and Adara. But for now, let's head on over to, I think, what might be the Nvidia show with the Midday, Sharif and Adara. Go get them.
See you soon.
Sure, Neil. What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade, formerly known as that Midday Show. Or are we the Midday Show today? Because we don't have a lesson.
We're everything.
We're everything. No lesson today, guys, but welcome to